Good morning, everybody. It's 7 a.m. on Tuesday, August 3rd. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see cloudy skies with a high of 82. Coming up on OTB, presented by All-Star Toyota, LSU head football coach Ed Orgeron stops by at 7:30, and Nick Underhill joins the show to talk Saints at 9:30. We also have our OTB mailbag today, so get your questions in. Tweet them, ask them in the YouTube chat using the hashtag OTB mailbag, and we'll get them answered at 8:15. Follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN or by subscribing to our YouTube for new content every day. You can also check us out on Cox Sports Television. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome in. It is Tuesday. I hope you're having an excellent Tuesday. T-Bob, Jake, Mario, and Paulie O'Neill hanging out with you today. Danny remains on vacation, staying in Mexico, just so upset about the Gold Cup loss. We hope to reconnect with them later in this week.
They got knocked out of the Olympics as well.
Wow. When it rains, it pours for El Tri. So sad. Hate to see it. All right, coming up on today's show, we obviously tree.
Yeah.
Whatever. And tomato, really.
Mario's laughing at you. So
Potato, frankly. Look, we had a big show for you planned today. Obviously, yesterday, some massive news broke while I was in the middle of watching Boss Baby with my 3.5-year-old daughter in the theaters. I don't know that she remembered anything of the movie. She definitely remembered drinking her first ever large icy, though. It was like watching a 3-year-old do a line of cocaine. It was kind of hilarious. But it was fantastic, only to get out of the movie and see that my phone was completely blowing up with the Miles Brennan news. So we'll talk about that at 7:15. We got Coach O coming up at 7:30. We'll hook up with a doctor from Ochsner later in the show to give you the medical perspective as well. And then we've got NBA free agency. We got Garrett Temple, who's now a New Orleans Pelican, coming on. And then, of course, Nick Underhill filling you in on the Saints. It's going to be a wild and full show. Jake, how you feeling? Anything to say before we dive into these headlines?
Look, we do have a lot to get to, and the news that came out yesterday about Miles is devastating for him. It's devastating for a lot of people. This is someone that we've talked about has done things the right way in the day and age of I'm going to take my ball and go home. He has not done that. He's stuck around. He's battled a couple of quarterbacks here at LSU to try to win the starting position. I know we're going to get into it in depth and what it means for the LSU football team, but just for me, someone who played LSU means a lot to me. It meant a lot to me that he also stayed and tried to win the starting job a couple of times. And devastating news that he's injured and now won't have the ability to compete in camp.
Yeah, so we'll look at it from his perspective, from the room's perspective, from the team's perspective, coming up at 7:15. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button. That obviously helps. You know all that stuff. Subscribe, hit the bell, blah, blah, blah. If you're watching on CST, just tell your friends about it. Hell yeah. And then wherever you're listening, let's do this thing. Let's dive in to some headlines.
OTB headlines are brought to you by Barbecue Guys. Barbecue Guys, for those who are born to grill. Visit bbqguys.com to learn more.
So we'll start with the Miles Brennan news. As he suffers a broken left arm in a non-football accident, he will be out for the foreseeable future. Here is the quote from the report that LSU released on lsusports.net. Quote, Miles Brennan suffered a severe injury that will require surgery. His timeline is yet to be determined. Miles has done everything that we have asked of him this summer. It was in a fight to be the starting quarterback at LSU. Disappointing news there. In terms of timeline, from what I've heard anywhere from 3 to 4 months. That remains to be confirmed, remains to be determined, but a pretty devastating blow there.
It is, and now obviously you look at what's the quarterback depth look like, because as we talked about way back in like February, March, at the point of spring practice, well, you had 3 quarterbacks, and really you had 4 scholarship quarterbacks. You had 3 that may be fighting for this job. You lose TJ Finley to Auburn. It's like, okay, you lose a depth piece, but then you still felt good because you had Miles and Max at the top. You had Nussmeier there at number 3. Now you lose another piece from a really talented, in-depth quarterback situation. So now it's, okay, what's this do to affect the room? Like,
Yeah.
Does this affect maybe some of the offensive play calls that you have the ability to call? Because we've seen this situation in 2018 when Miles was hurt. They weren't able to do some of the things with Joe that they wanted to do. So this definitely has a trickle-down effect.
Yeah, we'll explore all of it coming up in depth at 7:15. In LSU recruiting news, LSU gets their first 2023 commitment from Amarion Miller, a 4-star wide receiver from North Caddo High School in Vivian near Shreveport. Doing great. What up? He's a 4-star, and he is the 10th ranked prospect in the state of Louisiana for 2023. In other recruiting news, Walker Howard is now the Go247 composite #1 quarterback in the nation. This is because Quinn Ewers, the Ohio State commit, much like he said he was going to do, has reclassified and gone ahead and enrolled at Ohio State for this fall. Said he was going to because he wanted to get some of that sweet NIL money. Talking about he can maybe make near 7 figures. I'll be actually very interested to see what happens there. But what it means now is that LSU has the #1 ranked quarterback in the 2022 class committed to them.
Also, he has the opportunity to maybe compete at Ohio State. That quarterback situation is wide open. That was part of it, but also let's not hide from it. I mean, the NIL stuff was a big part, and
It's just joining this late in the process. I mean, he has a chance to compete. It's going to be tough for him.
it's going to be very tough unless he's had like conversations with the coordinators and quarterback coach, and they've been feeding him the playbook to walk in and you're hitting it on the run because you have to. It's camp. It's not spring practice. It's not a situation like that. So he has the potential to start, but look, he saw the NIL money. It might not be there in the same way next year. They might have a federal law that changes some of the rules. So he decided to, and I've actually been a part of this. My high school quarterback, John David Booty, left after his junior year, signed with USC, and left for his senior. Now, a different reason, obviously, NIL wasn't a thing, but even like from our perspective as a high school, like we were trying to start over. And we didn't blame him because he had a good reason why he left, but you're trying to start over. Then his head was swimming trying to go to USC, trying to be the starting quarterback. And, I think they had Auburn like week 1. So
What year? That was 03 when they had Auburn week 1? I was at that game. It was the first time. That was the first time.
probably with a roommate.
That was the first time that I ever met Ed Orgeron. I was, I guess, I don't know, 13, 14, something like that. And we went to Auburn. It was only like 2 hours away from our house.
Right.
And my old man was tight with him, so we were in the USC family section. I met Edo getting off the bus. Never forget it. We were jammed near like the top corner of Jordan Hare, and I was doing like the V for victory, doing the whole thing. It was awesome, dude. USC whooped that ass that day. Auburn was number 1 in the country going into the game.
They opened up a can on them.
Yeah, I'll never forget. You remember Tony Baselli?
Yeah, absolutely.
I got to meet him that day, and he had a 5-year-old that was already like, I don't know, felt like 5.5 feet tall.
Should we check and see if his son ever played?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think about him often. In New Orleans Pelicans news, the Pelicans are very active in free agency as the Lonzo Ball relationship with the Pelicans is officially ended. The Pelicans created a sign and trade with the Chicago Bulls. So Lonzo Ball signed a 4-year, $85 million deal. The Bulls get Lonzo. The Pelicans get Tomas Satoransky and Garrett Temple. Reportedly, there will end up being more to this trade. At least that seems to be the expectation. I believe Temple will probably stick around in New Orleans, but Satoransky looks like he may get moved. It was also reported the Pelicans swung and missed on 2 of the big boys. They went after hard on Chris Paul and Kyle Lowry, but struck out Lowry, signing a huge deal with the Miami Heat, while Chris Paul gets a 4-year, $120 million extension with the Phoenix Suns. The Pels weren't done, though. They added Devontae Graham via a sign and trade with the Charlotte Hornets, sending a 2022 first-round pick, lottery protected, to Charlotte in exchange for Graham. Graham is 26 years old. He averaged 15 points, 5.5 assists last year, shot 38% from 3. 2 years ago, averaged 18 points a game. So a nice rotational, maybe starting piece there for the New Orleans Pelicans, a young guy.
I don't know how much you know about him. Mario and I were talking about him before the show started.
I know he loves his dog.
He's got some dog in him, too. Like, he is someone that's going to let you know he's on the court with you. He's got a good mentality, and I actually think that the Pelicans need some of that. Yeah. Because think about, Zion doesn't have that, BI doesn't have, as far as kind of being that enforcer type. Not saying that they're not a dog with the ball, but sometimes you need a Bobby Portis to go win the NBA Finals like Milwaukee had.
You need
and he's got a little bit of that in him.
You need your Draymond. Toughness is something that has been in short supply for the New Orleans Pelicans the last few years. As a side note, kind of shout out LeVar Ball. I mean, you may hate him, but Lonzo now has an $80 million contract. What LaMelo just won Rookie of the Year. He's going to get like 100-something million. I mean, the Ball family's killing it.
I always feel bad, though.
Yeah, for the middle one. Yeah, but I mean, come on, right? Cooper's doing just fine.
Well,
Manning.
Also, Cooper got injured, and who knows what Cooper could have been. Cooper's very
you
successful.
Always hear that. But I'm saying he's doing just fine. I have a feeling that the family will take care of one another.
Jonas brother.
LeAngelo Ball will play in the
fourth.
LeAngelo Ball will play in the Charlotte Hornets summer league, by the way. So he's stacking up these two.
That's like, hey, you won Rookie of the Year for us. Yeah, bring your brother in.
Hell yeah! Look, man, Giannis's brother gets to play with him. Bring my little bro in, or big bro. In SEC expansion news, there were some rumors yesterday. I don't think they're anything more than that. Some guy, Mark Ryan, on air saying that Clemson and Florida State had reached out to the SEC in terms of joining. And then maybe the weirder part to me is a lot of people were talking about how Clemson and Florida State wouldn't actually bring any interest or weren't that valuable to the SEC. I mean, all this story just seems absurd on multiple fronts. Reportedly, none of those conversations have taken place. And I cannot believe, though, if it was true, that the SEC would be like, no, we don't want Clemson or Florida State in the league.
I don't know about the Florida State fit. I'm not sure exactly where they're at, just where Florida State's athletic programs are right now. I mean, Clemson, to some extent, now Clemson football is Clemson football. But Clemson canceled their track program until it was brought back by alumni. So maybe they're looking at it from that perspective of an entire athletic department, but Clemson football right now is a absolute blue blood.
Yeah, whatever. Maybe there's angles I'm not considering. I had somebody try to tell me yesterday that UNC and West Virginia it would be more valuable to the SEC than Clemson and Florida State. And I don't care how bad Florida State is right now. I don't buy that for a second.
Please say you saw the memes that Vince Vaughn in old school and the guy acted like he was Florida State. He's like, from the guy who's probably not going to get in.
No, I haven't seen this.
We'll share it during the show.
In New Orleans Saints news, it is official. They signed Prince Amukamara and Kaveri Russell to play cornerback. Amukamara, a former first-round pick. Russell, a former third-round pick. However, both only played one combined game last season. They also added a little interior line depth, signing offensive guard J.R. Sweezy. He has started 104 games over the last 8 seasons, so Sweezy much more active than Amukamara and Russell recently. And in the Battle of Tamus, things are heating up. It was a big day yesterday. They're throwing the ball all over the field. Both completed some nice deep balls. Taysom goes 8 of 11. Jameis goes 9 of 12. In the Olympics, unbelievable 400-meter hurdles race that featured a new world record as Norway's Karsten Warholm breaks his own world record to win gold. Team USA's Ray Benjamin wins the silver. Former LSU soccer player Alyssa Chapman will play for the gold medal after Canada beat the U.S. women's national team. They will take on Sweden in the gold medal match Thursday night at 9 p.m. Simone Biles returned to close out her own 2020 Olympics with a bronze medal. Love it one more time in the Olympic podium for the greatest gymnast of all time. And the U.S. men's basketball team rolls through Spain in the semifinals 95-81. KD drops 29, and they will now play the winner of Australia-Argentina, which takes place this morning. France and Slovenia, featuring Luka Doncic, have already advanced on the opposite side of the bracket.
All right, before we go to break, I think T-Bob should get into scouting because Andrew Baselli received an athletic scholarship to attend Florida State University and plays for the Florida State football team.
Big boy, dude.
So T-Bob
he was a big boy.
Saw him at 5 years old, knew he was going to be a guy. Turns out he's a guy.
Yeah, imagine that, Tony Baselli's son being a guy. I'm a genius. You can count it.
He was 5, though.
Yeah, I know, but this was the biggest 5-year-old you've ever seen. It looked like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Or Honey, I Blew Up the Baby. Which is that the first or the second one? I still don't know.
I think it's the second one.
Blew Up the Baby's the second one?
He shrunk them, then he made them bigger.
Okay.
Kind of like Ant-Man.
In the overall Olympic medal count, China tying the U.S. for the lead at 68. The U.S. at 68. The Russian Olympic Committee at 50. However, China a commanding gold lead now, 32-22, while Japan has 18. Those are your headlines. Let's go ahead It talks to Miles Brennan next. We got Coach O coming up at 7:30. Keep it locked on OTB.
If you were born to grill, you have to go to Barbecue Guys for all your grilling and outdoor living needs. With the largest selection of top grills and outdoor products and best-in-class customer service, Barbecue Guys has it all. Visit bdqguys.com. That's bdqguys.com. Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to accutempbr.com. That's accutempbr.com for all your AC, heating, cooling. Well, AC, cooling is kind of the same thing. Electrical needs. Look, you get service to the highest degree when you work with AccuTemp. And don't take my word for it. Take the internet's word, right? The internet reviews things pretty brutally most of the time, but which is why it's so shocking that AccuTemp is carrying a 4.9 Google review rating despite having thousands of reviews. Now, I understand why, because I've worked with them. I've experienced it firsthand. You should as well. Once you work with AccuTemp, you will never go anywhere else.
Look, it is August and it's Louisiana. We know it's hot, so the last thing you want is to have an AC issue. So if you do have something that's popped up, you can get in contact with them so many different ways. accutempbr.com. You can have a chat with them right there on the site. You can call them. You can set up a text thread. You can do all these things. And with that kind of customer service, you know they're going to get back to you and have your AC back up and running. accutempbr.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045espn.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person. Connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Middle Relief, and after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
Do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Coming up on Tuesdays, Middle Relief, we check in on Saints training camp, talk some LSU football as we'll be 32 days away from the season opener, and more. Middle Relief, 12 to 3 p.m. right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what up, y'all? Welcome back to Off the Bench. Hope you're having a wonderful morning. Let's go ahead and dive into it. So we're talking about the Miles Brennan injury here, and I think I want to state some things first and foremost. So, yes, it was LSU said this in their statement. It was his left arm that was broken, so for whatever it's worth, not his throwing arm. It was a non-football activity. However, I would say be wary about what you believe in terms of what exactly happened with the broken arm. I would say that we're pretty well connected, and I've heard about 17 different versions of the story that are like, this is how it really went down, right? The bottom line, though, is that, and I've talked to some of the coaches, and they understand this as well, and for all the people sitting there in criticism of him acting like he was doing something wrong or something along those lines, the bottom line, it was just a freak accident, right? It's just living everyday life, and a horrible stroke of luck happens. And that's kind of where I start with all of this, is you feel just terrible for the kid, right? I mean, as I said, this young man had done everything that the staff had asked him to do through the spring, through the summer, through last year. And, last year thought his opportunity was there, only for it to go awry due to injury. At least that injury was on the field, which you can kind of process a bit more. Now he has to deal with mentally processing this freak accident while also physically trying to get back. And what does that look like? I've heard anywhere from like 3 to 4 months. So maybe you're back by like the final quarter of the season to help out in whichever way you can. But basically everything that you prepared for, all the hundreds and hundreds of hours of work that you put into to get ready for this camp, are now thrown out of the window. And that's got to be hard to deal with. And I don't think it's hard to like put yourself in his shoes and empathize with that.
No, and it's a shame because sometimes in athletics, we just see athletes that stuff like this happens to, right? And they for whatever reason, go through the injury bug, or they have, A, B, and C happen to them. And right when it's their moment, that's usually when something pops up. I mean, this guy was throwing for 375 yards a game a year ago. He literally has an injury that doctors couldn't explain. They didn't know what to do with. They had no idea because they had never seen it. So they didn't really know surgery, rehab, surgery. Like, what do we do with this, right? And so you have that type of injury, which, LSU doctors have seen a lot. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
And then now you have this situation only days before camp where you have this freak accident, something like you mentioned, T-Bob. You're living your life like you normally would every single day. This happens to you, and now you're not going to be able to be in that quarterback battle that, it was 50-50 deal. A lot of people would have said, hey, I'm in Miles' camp. I think Miles is going to win the starting job. So you feel bad for him because, again, like I said in the open, this kid has done everything the right way. He has not transferred. You've not heard him complain in the media or on social media. He has always said, I'm in a position battle. If I win, great. If I don't, I gave it everything I could. Like, that's the type of mentality that Miles Brennan has. So for me, it is tough to see him because I wanted him to compete. Not to say he would have won the job. That's not even what we're saying. Like, him and Max would have had a real camp battle for that position, but not even having the ability to, knowing what he's already given to LSU, when really I can't think of any other quarterback that would have given this much time to LSU. It's incredibly sad.
Yeah, so now I think the next question is, how does this change the dynamics of the quarterback room? And the obvious biggest loss is the loss of depth, right? One of the things that I kept parodying at SEC Media Days was whoever won the job didn't actually affect my win-loss prediction. That is a very nice place to be from like a peace of mind insurance standpoint. That means that you literally felt like you had two starting caliber quarterbacks that were good enough to win you 9, maybe even 10 games. Now, obviously, all of that is taken away. It heightens the pressure on Garrett Nussmeier. I love what we saw to Nussmeier in the spring, right? He's aggressive. He seems confident. Anecdotally, people thought he was really exciting during the spring, but he was a bit wild, right? So now he has to kind of be mature beyond his years. He has to hyper-accelerate his own development process, and he has to be ready to prepare like he is one snap away at all times. And I think the other piece of this is that now you don't really know who the third quarterback is in the room either.
That is something we were talking about right before we came on the show. We were talking about the quarterback depth that you've had numerous amounts of times at LSU, but In 2018, you had Joe and you had an injured Miles Brennan, and it was like, okay, what happens, right? Is it going to be John Trey Kirkland? Is it going to be a walk-on? Like, how is that going to play out? And so you are 2 plays away from having a walk-on play quarterback.
Yeah.
And if you go back and rewind it, in March, you had 4 scholarship quarterbacks, 3 who had started games in the SEC. But that's just the way it is now. That is the way that the quarterback position is. You're a transfer and an injury away from being in the situation that they're currently in right now. And you still got, 2 viable options, and you've got a third coming in, Walker Howard, next year, but that next year doesn't help you right now. So they've got to get somebody coached up to be that number 3 quarterback, because you don't want the playbook to be hindered or held back because of your quarterback depth. Because we all know Max is a runner. Max is someone that can run the RPOs. They like to sprint him out. I'm not saying you're going to run him, 10 times, 15 times, 20 times a game, but he's got that ability. In the Florida game, he did do that. He had a lot of carries in that Florida game. He had over 50 yards rushing. So does that hinder you like it hindered LSU in 2018 from running Joe because of your quarterback depth?
I mean, I don't think that you were going to run him too much anyway. I think that you absolutely were going. I mean, you're going to.
If you had Miles as a backup, everything would have been open.
Yeah, but even from a base standpoint there, though, you think, I mean, how many carries are you like thinking a game? Like 5?
Oh, more than that.
You think like 10 carries a game? No, you're talking about like called run plays, not like scrambles or him just like creating with his legs.
With the option to run the ball. I mean, an RPO is basically a triple option. You have 3 options on every play. So, I mean, that's not a designed quarterback run per se with your only option, but it's still a QB run.
Well, look, if you are looking for silver linings, although there's no real positive to this, at least it does make arguably Jake Pete's job easier in some ways, right? Because the skill sets between Johnson and Brennan were so vastly different that, to your point, you were going to have to create 2 different offenses, at least in terms of like tweaking it to maximize the abilities of both guys. And you would have had to really rep both those offenses during camp, right? And that would have been good in some ways. You would have gotten a wide breadth of kind of the different things that you could do. But now you get a much more focused kind of plan of attack. And when you look at Garrett Nussmeier, he is someone who is much more in the Max Johnson category than he is in the Miles Brennan category, meaning that you can have a more kind of unified philosophy in terms of what you want to do, how you frame the offense, and assigning reps is much simpler now. It is Max Johnson taking all the 1 reps from the start of camp, and you just have to really zero in and focus on that starting development.
T-Bob, so to give you some rushing stats from Max's 2 starts, against Florida, he had 18 carries for 52 yards.
Yeah.
Against Ole Miss, he had 14 carries for 45 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I know. I how much of that is a function of being a freshman, though, and the full playbook not being open to you, and that's
he had no less than 5.
That's a relatively. Oh, I agree. I'm saying I don't know if that's LSU's best path to success is him running the ball that much this season. That felt more like he's a freshman. We're dealing with a vertical slice of the playbook. This is something very easy to understand. It's not risky, right? He's not throwing the ball. I think if you want to be a special offense this year, you're going to have to rely more on his arms than his legs. The legs are a great piece, and they will be used and featured, but I don't want Max Johnson running the ball 18 times a game.
I'm not saying that was his best tool or the best way to win, but it is definitely part of the game plan. I'm not saying 18, but 8 to 12 was something I absolutely thought. 8 to 12 runs.
Makes sense.
Almost every game. No, every game. At least 8 to 12 runs, because it is a part of his game, and
it's
it is a part
what
of what Jake Peets wants to do.
Right?
Like he wants to do what?
It's probably about what Burrow did, about 8 to 12. When you look at the hurry-up zone reads and when he would create with his legs. So, yeah, that feels better. I wanted to get up.
That's what Joe had in 19 because he had Miles behind him, right? Is that going to be something that they have up in the playbook? That's kind of where we're going at. Like in 18, they didn't run Joe as much because Miles had a back injury and they didn't really have a backup. So that's the whole point is, are they going to change the playbook because they have a true freshman, or are they going to say, look, hey, Garrett, you got to be ready to go. We got to run our playbook. We got to run what our quarterback, Max Johnson, is really good at, which he's really good at RPOs. Jake Peets is really good at designing RPOs. We've got to run our full slate. You got to get ready. You've been here since the spring. We're counting on you.
I would say you err a bit on the side of caution. I don't think you completely neuter it, but again, I don't know if you want to be running him 18 times. Like you said, the 8 to 12, about 10 carries a game, that feels like a realistic, solid landing point to me. But let's see. Let's talk to Coach O about all of this coming up next, how they're reacting to the news, what their plans are, what it means for Nussmeier. We'll address all of this with Ed Orgeron next to Here and Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. The dealership's so nice. I joined it twice. Got that 2020 Toyota Sienna minivan. Absolutely love it. The Murdered Out minivan gang. Join me. Look, if you're feeling a little self-conscious, but you got kids, you're like, man, this car's feeling tight right now, but I don't know if I'm ready to make the minivan plunge. Dude, the Sienna's cool. Just straight up. There's no other way about it. And the 2021 is even better than 2020. So go check it out for yourself. Or you can go down the path more traveled to get yourself like a Tundra or something along those lines. The bottom line, whether you're looking to buy new, used, even if you want to rent, the answer to all of this, the best deals, are at All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.
If you're looking for something new, they've got it over at All-Star. Like T mentioned, the Sienna, the Sequoia, that full-size SUV. They've got the Highlander and the RAV4, those mid-size SUVs. They also have them in hybrids as well. Go check out the 4Runner like I did. Fit me and my family of 6. You got the Tundra, the Tacoma if you're looking for a truck. Everything that you need over at All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona, inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Miles Brennan has suffered an arm injury. He's out indefinitely. We'll have the absolute latest. Tuesday, AFR, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Off the Bench. You already know what time it is. Tuesday at 7:30, which means we check in with the head man from LSU football. That is Coach Ed Orgeron. Coach O, thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning, guys. Great to be on the show.
All right, so let's just start here, Coach. I know it's tough, but what happened to Miles, and what was your reaction when you got the news?
Yeah, very unfortunate. You know, Miles was competing, was fighting to be the starting quarterback at LSU, fought back, had a great spring, had a great summer, had an unfortunate accident. He's getting operated this morning. Our prayers are with Miles and his family. It was tough. His dad and his mom took it hard. I'm sure Miles took it hard. I didn't get to talk to him yet. I called him yesterday, but I'm sure he was very upset.
Yeah.
But we're going to follow him all the way through this. You know, the first thing that Miles' family is such a competitor, the first thing they want to know is eligibility left. When's the timeline for him to come back? When can he compete to come back and finish his career at LSU? And you got to appreciate that.
Coach, so what happens to the rest of the quarterback room now that Miles looks like he will be out for the foreseeable future?
Well, obviously Max is going to be our starter. You know, he's got to have a great camp. You know, the depth chart is etched in sand, and he knows he's got to perform. But I believe in Max, just like I believe in Miles. And I think we got us a great quarterback, a great championship quarterback. Garrett's going to have to step up. Garrett's a very talented young man. I'm glad we got him. And, you know, he's just got to learn the offense, step up, and be able to take care of the football. He had some unfortunate picks in the spring, but I know he's going to get better with experience. And then Matt O'Dowd. Matt, I'm glad we got a walk-on quarterback. He becomes a third-string quarterback, but we got to keep Max healthy. That's going to be the key.
And so keeping Max healthy, does that affect kind of how you frame this offense or how you call plays? It's something that we were just kind of discussing last segment.
You know, it reminds me of 18 again, when we had Joe Burrow, Miles Brennan. Then we only had two quarterbacks on scholarship, and we did very well. There's some things that, you know, that Max does very well. Extend plays with his feet. We're going to let him do those things. There are some things that we can do, some things that we can't do. We're going to see, but we have to be careful on how we use them, no question.
And, Coach, you had that conversation with Garrett Nussmeier. You know, you let him know, hey, you are one play away. I know you're a freshman, but you got here in the spring. Yep. We had to play freshman a year ago, so you always have to be ready and prepare like you're a starter.
Next man up. And this is a great talk to the team. You never know when your time's going to come. I told the team in the spring, we're going to need everybody. And stuff happens during the season. Here's something that happened right before we start. It's very unfortunate. But hey, we got to move on. We got to move forward. Garrett's going to step up. And look, he's a coach's son. He's a great young man. He's going to step up. He's going to be ready.
And so now, Coach, 2 days away from players reporting, camp beginning in 3 days on the 6th now. You know, the quarterback position battle was kind of taking up all the air in the room. Now, like you said, Max has got to be ready. He's got to go and earn it during camp, but he is in line. What other position battles are now kind of moving to the forefront? Like what major jobs are still up in the air?
Left tackle. Who's going to be our left tackle? You know, Cam's going to start there, but is it going to be Cam? And I think it will be. But who's going to be the next offensive lineman in? Is it Anthony Bradford? Is it Garrett Bellinger? Which one of these young guys are going to step in? Obviously. Then Keyshawn Butte is our lead receiver. Who's going to be the next guy? We got some great young freshmen. DeRay Jenkins is coming back. Dontre Kirkner is coming back. Coy Moore is coming back. Trey Palmer's coming back. Devontae Lee. I'm going to tell you, Malik Davis, Deion Smith, Brian Thomas, Chris Hilton are some excellent receivers along with Jack Betts. So we got some young guys that are going to play and fill in some key roles.
Coach, I want to go on the other side of the football. I want to ask you about the linebacking room because I had a conversation with Mike Jones not that long ago, and he told me why he was at LSU. He said, look, I was playing at Clemson, I was playing in the slot, and I was, doing well there, but I wanted to prove to everyone that I could play middle linebacker in the SEC. I loved his mentality. Is he going to get that opportunity?
Hell yeah. He's 6'2", 220 right now. You know, Mike, I thought, Mike came in and he fit in with our team right away. It's like he's been with us for 4 years. A great young man. But I'm looking at this linebacker board right now. You got Damone Clark. You got Michael Baskerville that's played. You got Jared Small that's done a tremendous job for us. You got Bug Strong. You got Mike Jones. You got Josh White. You got Greg Penn, an outstanding freshman. So we've got some talented linebackers.
Coach, I'm sensing a little excitement in your voice right now. Are you getting the birthday's done, the kind of final calm before the storm is done?
Yeah.
How are you feeling a couple of days away from camp?
It's camp time, baby. This is what man to man. Hey, you got to love it. And if you love coaching football, you love camp. We get to coach the LSU Tigers every day. We come to work one day at a time, building us a championship team.
And Coach, I know as a head coach, obviously you kind of touch on everything a bit, but you are the D-line expert, right? And when you look at this defensive line, you'll have a lot of talent across the board, whether it's on the edge, on the interior, and really it's at like all age ranges. What are you looking for out of that group this season?
Yes, I'm looking for depth. I'm looking for development. I'm looking for who's going to be the lead dog. I'm going to challenge these guys to be the lead dog. And I want some young guys. I guarantee you, Mason Smith and Bryce Langston and B.J. Ojulari is going to challenge those older guys, which is good. Competition is good. Ali Jones should have Ali Gay should have a tremendous season. Joe has not played a lot of football for us, but, coming out of spring, he was our best interior guy. We got Neil and Glenn coming back. Jackson Roy's in his best shape. We're strong in the middle, but these guys got it. We're an attacking defense. We need guys to make plays and rush the quarterback.
Kind of the same thing with the running back room, Coach. You've got a lot of talented guys that have played before, but you also have, a situation where you're probably wanting someone to step up. Not that running back by committee is a bad thing. LSU's had success with that, but are you looking for one guy to kind of take the RB1 role?
Yeah, I'm looking for Tyron Davis and John Emery to show me what I've seen in practice.
Right.
I want to see it on just the basis. And from what they showed me this summer, they're ready to have a breakout year. Tyron's in his best shape. I thought he was 230, but he's 225. He's in great shape. John's in great shape. Corey Connor, Amadi Goodwin, outstanding young backs. Josh Williams. Kevin's done a great job with these guys. I told the offense yesterday, we have to run the ball. With the LSU Tigers, we got to be physical. And when we have to run the ball, we have to get that extra yardage.
Coach, what does the camp schedule look like in terms of first, deciding these position battles, getting the team ready, installing, and then at what point do you kind of flip the switch and then you're focusing on a very big game one against the UCLA Bruins?
Grind. That's the schedule. Grind. Get better. Work on the fundamentals. I'm worried about the LSU Tigers. I ain't worried about who we're playing. I'm talking about the fundamentals on offense, defense, and special teams. I want to keep it simple to our football team. I want to have our cleats in the grass. I want everybody, all 11, know what they're doing and execute.
Coach, this group seems like they have a little bit of that already. Every time I go over to the facility, no matter what day it is, no matter what time it is, there's a group of players out there doing something. And that's not always the case. I mean, sometimes that just doesn't happen. But it seems like with this group, you have a group that wants to do what they're supposed to do and a little bit extra.
They're committed. Look at that offensive line came back. You know what I'm saying? That, all those guys decided to come back. The defensive line came back. There's great leadership. And there's this freshman class that we just signed is a very committed freshman class. They're very mature. They work hard. They're gelling well. It'll be exciting to see this team compete in camp.
Speaking of new faces competing in camp, Coach, I mean, technically, I know y'all had spring together, but this is Durante Jones and Jake Peets. They're going to be going at each other over the next couple of weeks. Is that already where's their minds at entering camp?
Hey, it's funny, okay? Everybody comes back, and everybody's happy, and everybody's talking to each other, passing each other and all, hey, how you doing? Then about the third day, you're lucky if you get a grunt. You know what I mean? But, he's good. Competition is good. I told the staff, hey, competition is healthy within the staff as long as we don't cross the line.
Is there a different attitude with the defense this year, Coach, kind of given what they had to go through last season and just how the general public started to view them and talk to them? Is there a little bit of a vengeance type of feel to that group right now?
big. Big. We were embarrassed. I was. We're embarrassed the way we played, and it's not the LSU. It's not the LSU way. But I do believe we got it fixed. I do believe we're going to eliminate the explosive plays. We'll have our fix in the grass. We'll keep it simple. We'll play more zone coverage. We'll be attacking defense. Our guys, all 11, are going to know what to do and execute. And I think that once we do that, we're going to be fine.
Coach, if the competition with the staff boiled over to a bad point, I'm getting behind Andre Carter. I've had to block him before.
You and me both.
All right, Coach. Well, look, thank you so much for stopping by today, filling us in. Just a week away from camp. I mean, next Tuesday at this time, y'all be in the thick of it. Thank you so much, and good luck with the grind that comes next.
And let me say this to you, guys. I want T-Bob and Jake, I want y'all to know y'all invited. I want y'all to come to camp, ex-players. I want y'all to be around. We're inviting all our ex-players. Our camp is open for those guys, for them to come. Obviously, if there's some COVID rules, we need to follow them, but I'm not sure of that yet. But I want to say on the radio that I want all our ex-players to know they're always welcome to come to our camp. I want them to be around and see our team.
There you go. Absolutely
Yes,
love it,
sir.
Coach. That's great to hear on multiple fronts. Thank you so much, Coach. And, kick ass. Have a fun start of camp in a couple days.
Hey, guys. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Yes, sir. All right on, dude. Nice. Let's go. Okay. I mean, I'm there. I'm in that thing. Normally you only get to go watch like the NFL practices, right? And even then you're shuttled off to the side. So if you're an ex-player out there listening, there you go. It's his equivalent of him and Anchorman grabbing the conch shell and blowing it into the air to get all the has-beens to assemble.
Hey, Marlon, that doesn't mean you could be over there interviewing people and rapping on the sideline,
dude.
Marlon.
He can rap on the sideline.
All right.
Man,
We're there to watch football practice.
No interviews or anything.
All
We'll
right.
have to keep it off social media, but he can rap on the sideline.
I don't know. We're trying to focus.
Big as a gorilla. Shout out Big Fave, dude. Our guy. All right, when we get back, closing out hour number 1, react to the things that Coach Orgeron had to say right there. And,
Big
Howard
Fave, I put
next.
you in a bad spot.
Go OTB. More next.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org for any of your plumbing needs. You want to go to Central Plumbing, 925-8552 is the number. It's really simple, 925-8552. You call, you don't lift a finger, and your plumbing issues are solved, okay? And it's not just residential. If you have an office building, you're a business owner, okay, and you need your commercial needs met, well, guess what? They have the insurance, paperwork, and personnel to do so. And they've only grown that large over the past 50 years because people like me have had all the same experience, which is a very positive one, where you call them, it's fixed, you don't have the finger, and it's great. Beginning of that.
Fantastic 24/7 emergency services. We tell you that all the time. But don't forget about their bathroom remodels, and that's residential and commercial. If you've been tired with your bathroom and you want a facelift, they can come in. They can do that. Consultation part of that is absolutely free to you. Water heaters, tankless ROG. If you need a repair or a new installation, they can do that. Check it all out, centralplumbing.org, 225-925-8552.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Ochsner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
On Tuesdays, Off the Bench. It's a few days away from LSU opening fall camp, and Coach O will stop by to give you all the details. Plus, we check in with our guy Nick Underhill as he gives you the latest news from Saints camp. Off the Bench, 7 to 10 a.m., 104.5 ESPN.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Going to close up hour number 1 real quick. Just a couple minutes here. We wanted to stretch with Coach O there. And then coming up hour 2, we got OTB Mailbag 8:15. We'll kind of do a camp preview also to kick off the hour. Next hour, some of the other position battles we're looking at. Garrett Temple coming on at 8:30 sharp. Talk a little Pelicans as he's returned to New Orleans. But, Jake, what stood out to you from the O interview?
A lot of things, but the two highest for me were when I asked him about Mike Jones having the ability, because he was a nickel linebacker, kind of a nickel Sam at Clemson, and did really well in that role. I had a conversation with Mike. He said, I came to LSU to play middle linebacker. When I asked Coach O, was he going to have that chance, he couldn't have gotten hell yeah out of his mouth any faster.
Yeah. 6'2", 220.
They've got a plan for
Like a
him
big
to be
boy.
right in the middle of that defense. That's what that told me. Not to say there won't be other pieces. There's going to be other guys. But to something that you're worried about, Damone Clark, well, Damone maybe can go back to that role that he thrived in 2019.
Yeah, just take advantage of his just freakish physical abilities.
Right? And you also have Buck Strong to be the thumper on first and second down, perhaps. Michael Baskerville, he said his name, so looks like he's got a good chance to return to the team.
Put Damone hand in the dirt on the ambush package. Make it happen.
Yeah, without question. I mean, we've seen him bench press guards all the way back to the quarterback. And then the second thing to me was he called the running backs out without calling them out.
I think he just called them out. I mean, it just wasn't not in like
not in a bad
like
way.
y'all suck way, but like he called them out saying, look, no, TDP or John Emery, they need to be the guy that we saw in recruiting that we've seen in practice. Like they have to translate it to the game day playing
Because
field.
I asked him, is it going to be like running back by committee? Because LSU has, 03, 07, 11. They've got 2 R1 championship games with the running back by committee. And, of course, they did it with Clyde really by himself in 2019.
Even 03, though, right? He was like JV by the end of the year. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody didn't have a hand. People still have a hand.
Yeah, you have a lead dog, but it's still a committee. So, I was asking him, really expecting him to give me, we got 4 guys. All 4 of these guys are going to touch the ball. He's like, no, TDP, John Emery, I need to see on the game field what you do on the practice field. And that was eye-opening to me because he's exactly right. If two guys need to step up on this team, it is those guys, and they're doing the right things right now. They're extremely talented, right? And so I want to see that. I want to see that translate to the game field. And we've seen moments, TDP against Florida in 2019, John Emery against Alabama last year. If those two players can be consistent, that is so completely different for the LSU offense to if they're not and they're rolling 5 running backs in there.
Yeah, and a lot of that's got to be in the offensive line as well. They struggled to run blocking last year. They're going to have to be better in that regard. I don't know if they'll be able to do the hurry-up zone thing. Hopefully the staff will figure it out if they can a lot sooner this time around. But the bottom line is they need to run block better because, as Coach O said, LSU needs to be able to run the ball. All right, we got plenty more LSU football camps talk coming up to kick off hour number 2. OTB mailbag. If you want to get your questions in, we'll answer all those at 8:15. And again, Garrett Temple coming on. Keep it locked.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to RejuveMeMedical.com. RejuveMeMedical.com. Restore me, refuel me, rejuvenate me. You're probably, just from that slogan, right? From their mantra, you can get what they do. They fight the aging process, right? So if you don't have the energy levels that you used to rolling out of bed. Rolling into bed isn't maybe quite as fun as it used to be back in the day. You're having like fatigue problems, tough weight that you can't get off. Rejuve can help with all of this. And it's by creating a holistic plan specifically customized for you. So you meet the lifestyle specialist, draw your labs, and they will create a plan to get you back to where you want to be.
Look, if you signed with the Lakers recently, you need to understand how aging works because you're getting a little bit older. You need to go check out Rejuve Me Medical to figure out, okay, how do I get back to be like my youthful self? Well, they can help you. RejuveMeMedical.com, right there on the top right corner of the website. You can get a consultation set up, or if you've got a question, or if you want to get that consultation set up on the phone, 225-230-4201.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit GarciaDidMyRoof.com.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
By Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Tuesday, August 3rd. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see cloudy skies with a high of 82. In case you missed hour one of the show, you can now catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. Still to come, Garrett Temple joins the show at 8:30, and Nick Underhill talks Saints in the third hour, presented by former Tiger and attorney Chris Perrette. We also have our OTB mailbag today, so get your questions in, tweet them, or ask them in the YouTube chat using the hashtag OTB mailbag, and we'll get them answered at 8:15. Follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN, or by subscribing to our YouTube for new content every day. Hour number 2 of OTB, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to Off the Bench, hour number 2. Breaking news. Mondo Duplantis, 2020 Tokyo Olympic gold medal winner for the pole vault, making it look easy, smoking the competition as it's definitely as expected, but obviously
until you do it.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Until you do it.
There's so much that can go wrong. Still, one of my favorite things in the world is watching, hyper slow-mo videos of Mondo Duplantis pole vaulting. It really breaks your brain in terms of how it looks like it defies the laws of physics. I mean, you can pause it at screenshots where the bar looks like it's about to break and he's completely inverted upside down with his feet straight up in the air. You're like, how does this ever work out? But it does, man. And now Mondo Duplantis, Lafayette's finest.
That's right.
A gold medal winner. How about it?
I mean, this is a uber athletic family. I mean, we said how many times we talk about Antoine Duplantis and LSU baseball and his parents and the whole deal. It's so funny to see families and the family dynamic. Like Antoine Duplantis, all-time hits leader, at LSU, was like this quiet guy, didn't really celebrate, just kind of would go about his business. And Mondo's got like complete swag, like pretty much like celebrating as he goes over whatever height he's trying to get to. I love that there can be that different dynamic. You can both excel at your sport, just completely different.
Yeah, also, and it is a thing where, I think you need a little bit of that showmanship if you're going to be in such an individual sport, a la pole vaulting. Also, what it can do for you from a marketing standpoint is fantastic, right? It's kind of like the McGregor thing. For any fighters out there, a lot of times if you're trying to maximize money, look, being a great fighter is obviously the first step, but to get to that, next level, it's having a little bit of that swag, that confidence, that ability, and Mondo has that. I expect you're going to see him a lot more.
The LSU track and field team, and Benny sat here, 2 weeks ago. He's like, oh, no, we like that.
Yeah.
We don't mind that. And the LSU track team, men's and women's, absolutely has that.
So congrats to Mondo Duplantis. Awesome job. Again, he was the favorite, but it's real easy for those things to go awry. He made it look easy on the biggest stage with all the pressure. Bilbo Baggins saying they might be going for the world record now. I don't know because we can't find it on TV. We'll look
Gordy,
for it
get
again.
us the updated package. What are we doing here?
Okay, so right here, I think I want to talk about camp. Again, OTB mailbag coming up next. Go in the YouTube chat, get in your questions. We'll answer them next segment. But I want to talk a bit about camp because now that the quarterback battle was taking up all the air in the room, right, all the oxygen for valid reasons. It was the potential battle that could have the biggest impact. Not necessarily because I thought either guy was demonstrably better than the other. Like I said repeatedly, my win-loss total didn't change depending on who in the job, but the offense would have looked pretty different depending on who in the job. Now all that's out the window. It's Max Johnson. That's the offense you're going to get, which, by the way, we've been kind of trying to parse through, okay, what do we want to see from a carry standpoint? So we were talking about Joe Burrow. I added up, I took out the 29 carry game against A&M as being a bit of a statistical outlier for whatever that's worth. But I added up 2018 and 19 carries per game, and he averaged out, and this is without taking sacks out, which as Jake pointed out when we were talking about the break, those count as attempts. But Joe Burrow, over 2 years, averaged 8 attempts a game. I think that is about, even though Max is more of a runner than Burrow, if you're trying to maximize the success of the offense, I think that is about exactly where I want him to be, 8 to 12 attempts. I think when you're getting above that, and that's basically where Burrow bounced between 8 and 12 over the 2 years. I think when you're getting above that, and not just because of the backup quarterback situation, I just think if you're getting above that, you're maybe relying on it a bit too much. You're not maximizing your other weapons. And because of the quarterback situation, now we can say that you're probably engaging in a bit too much risk as well.
I completely agree with you. I don't want to see like 12 design quarterback runs. Now, organically, if it happens, because as we know in the RPO system, you have 3 reads. If the read tells you to run it, absolutely, you run the football.
No doubt.
But like you said, don't specialize in quarterback draws or quarterback sprint outs or quarterback sweeps like we saw in the A&M game where Joe had 29 carries.
29 carries.
And so it's just really just having the threat. Like Max just having the threat and the ability to run is almost more than enough, right?
Yeah.
Like other teams know. Other teams have to work on that. And if the read tells you to do it, that's fine. And I love a good sprint out. If you want to sprint him out like you did against the Florida game, he had run pass option. And I think he picked up 14 yards on a sprint out, right? He rolled to the left. They played coverage. They didn't really come up and try to stop the quarterback rollout, and he ran for 14 yards. That's perfect, right?
Yeah.
That is a pass play that turns into a run play. I am with you. You don't live and die by it. It's definitely a part of your offense. You pick and choose when you call those design quarterback runs, and if it happens because the defense is giving you the run, then run it.
It's the one of the best aspects of the run. It's like the dentist thing. It's the implication. It's not that you're going to do it, but it's the implied threat there presented by Max Johnson. So now that is decided for all intents and purposes, like you even heard Coach O say Max is the starter, and then he going on and say Etch and Sand and everything you have to say, but no, Max is the starter. So now that battle decided. What position battle are you most focused on?
I think it still goes back to running back for me.
Okay.
It really does, because last year you struggled to run the football. And I'm always going to go back to the Missouri stat because it is just mind-blowing to me that their running backs had almost 5 yards before they were had contact against LSU. Almost 5 yards. As a running back running out of gun, you basically get a 10-yard head start before you got touched, and LSU was negative against Missouri. That was
the
down,
backup D-line
that was down
COVID
bodies
numbers.
because of COVID.
Which that's as much on the O-line. I mean, even more so on the O-line than the running
it is.
backs.
But how many times also did we see Clyde be able to create on his own?
No doubt.
In 2019. This running back group has 2 absolutely talented guys that are veteran guys. It's got 2 extremely young, talented guys, okay? And you have a walk-on who earned a scholarship that played a year ago in Williams. You've got 5 capable bodies. I need one of you to say, damn it, this is my room. I'm going to be the lead dog, and we're all going to have success. That's great. I hope all 5 of us have a role in this team, but it's going to be behind what I do. I want to see that, and it's a mentality because, like John Emery hit his head on the goalpost on an 80-yard run against Alabama last year. I want to see that in multiple games next year. I want to see that in 8 games next year, him have that type of run. Because he's got that type of ability, right? And TDP, if you want to be the guy who leans on the defense, you're just giving them 6, 7, 5 yards every time, and you're making them feel your presence, that's fantastic as well. But I need more from that group. I think the team knows they need more from that group. I think the running backs in that room know that they've got to step up. And it's not all going to be on them. You made a great point. The offensive line, it's on you as well. But I think that group's ready to make that jump. Just having conversations with them, they realize where they're at right now, and they want to be more consistent, and this is the time to go improve it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Coach O. I just can't escape the left tackle thing. There's a reason, even though, interestingly, now it's confirmed, not the blind side, for whatever that is worth, right?
Tried to tell y'all. I tried to tell y'all.
Not the blind side of the lefty Max Johnson.
My man Deculus, I hit him with that at media days, and I'm not sure that he quite even really thought about that.
Yeah. What do you, I mean, Deck, you're
blindside guy if Max starts.
I wonder. I mean, yeah, I do wonder how much that factor. I feel like it means less today than it did at one time, but it doesn't mean nothing. I think the bigger thing now is, and I don't know if you see this in college much, but in the NFL now, you just see guys lining up their best pass rusher against the right tackle, no matter what, because generally that's the lesser of the two, and it's a matchup game, right? So that makes sense. Whatever. Deculus is going to be fine on the right side. We all know that. He's going to be better than fine. I think who plays left tackle? Is it Cam Wire? Can Cam Wire play to the level that Dare was going to play at this season? And then maybe even more importantly, like the quarterback room, again, it's interesting the parallels between Miles and Dare, because the greatest loss arguably wasn't in the player themselves rather than the loss of depth, right? Because now you're in a tenuous situation. You are one snap away from having a left tackle that's never really played. And maybe even worse, it's not like you have like some stalwart, great recruit left tackle that's never played, but you know he's going to be good. Like, no, you got question marks. I mean, you heard Coach O talk about Anthony Bradford, who I thought had a really nice spring at right guard. Does he now kick out? Can he compete and win that backup left tackle job? Hell, I mean, the starting job is still up for grabs, even though Cam Wire is going to be first in line. You got Dellinger in the mix as well. Marcus Dumerville, I've heard mentioned. So, yeah, I mean, left tackle to me has got to be the next kind of thing that you're going to put a magnifying glass on that could have the biggest impact on where this team goes. Because obviously, where does everything revolve around in football? Everybody that gets paid affecting the quarterback, right? Either positively or negatively. And left tackle is one of, if not the most important position when it comes to affecting them in that way.
I can tell you this. In 2019, they got used to playing games without Sadiq Charles. In 2020, they got used to at times playing games without Dare Rosenthal.
Yeah.
I mean, so that gives you experience that you're bringing back in a Cam Wire. I think we forget how much football he actually played a year ago.
Yeah, he played a lot.
Left tackle's a different beast. We know that. Blindside or no blindside, we know that. I would love, though, even though Cam Wire did, I think, a really nice job filling in. I mean, I think we were both surprised by how he did a year ago. I think if Anthony Bradford goes and wins that job, that is what you want as an LSU fan. Because Cam Wire then becomes your swing guy, and we've seen him in that role, and he's thrived. We think Anthony Bradford is maybe the most overall talented offensive lineman.
Yeah.
That is someone that if he can go out there, slim down, win that job, I think that behooves LSU in a great way.
That is maybe one thing I'm a bit worried about with Bradford is his added size, and it looked better in the spring. That's fine on the interior. In fact, that's kind of what you want a lot of times at guard. We're going to be banging around a little more. Nowadays, I feel like you got to be a little leaner on the edge, right? So Bradford's conditioning level, where's his body at, the footwork required to operate on that terrifying island that is left tackle a lot of times. I don't know that I've seen it out of Bradford yet. So that's why camp is going to be so critical to him proving that.
To kind of give you an idea, Dare Rosenthal listed as 6'7", 327. Anthony Bradford, 6'5", 360.
I mean, there you go. Dude, that's
big old boy.
He's a thick boy. He's maybe a little too thick for the left tackle.
See, your right tackle, Austin Deculus, is listed at 6'6", 330.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're talking about 30 more pounds either way.
And hey, you know what? The Louisiana Heat has a hell of a way of kind of trimming you up sometimes.
Look, if T-Bob, how many pounds did you say you lost like per camp practice?
I was about 7 or 8 pounds.
I was anywhere between like 7 and 11.
Yeah.
So if we can do that, my man Anthony Bradford, I'm thinking safely 13, 18 per practice.
Yeah, it remains to be seen for Bradford. But the bottom line, if you're one of these tackles, opportunity is there, okay? And not just opportunity to back up, opportunity to start and to make money. Because if you sell left tackle, you get paid the big bucks. All right, when we get back, let's do a little OTB mailbag. So we got Garrett Temple coming up at 8:30. Get your questions in. We'll answer them next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to DonaldSoulGlassandBody.com or just go to DGBAuto.com. A one-stop car shop, tires, wheels, brakes, glass, oil changes, collision repair, like anything and everything, alignment, whatever you need. DG&B does it. The body shop is especially something I want to brag on, though, because it's second to none. It's why if you get in an accident, the insurance company can't tell you where to go. The police can't tell you who gets to tow. The answer to both is Donaldsonville Glass Body. Screw an accident, though, Jake. What if you get a bad stroke of luck and you just break down at home, work, wherever? Okay, Donaldsonville will come pick you up, fix it, and then drop it back off to you, and the towing in that is going to be completely free.
For you, it was Chick-fil-A drive-thru.
Yeah.
For me, it was my home, and I'm here at the studio. They're in Donaldsonville, and I'm in Baton Rouge, my house, and they beat me there. Like, they beat me to my house to pick up my vehicle. So they can be anywhere. Just trust me when I say they're going to pick it up, they're going to drop it off. That is an incredible service. Many great services over DonaldsonvilleGlassandBody.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Middle Relief, and after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Coming up on Tuesdays, Middle Relief, we check in on Saints training camp, talk some LSU football as we'll be 32 days away from the season opener, and more. Middle Relief, 12 to 3 p.m. right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back. Off the Bench. T-Bob, Jake, Mario, and Paulie hanging out with you today. It's time for a little OTB mailbag. Let's go ahead and dive right in.
Special delivery!
Special delivery for off the bench. And look, it is marked most urgent.
We'll be writing to you.
The internet. What the is the internet?
All right, we'll start with Avo Morzawani, who asks, #AskTheBench. Did y'all see the Lord of the Rings Prime teaser pic with release date? Any expectations for it? Did you see this, Jake?
I
know you're a Lord of the
did.
Rings
I
fan.
saw the picture,
Not gonna
and
lie.
I was like, I'm not going to say anything until I ask the expert.
I'm not going to lie. Well, I remain very skeptical from some reports that I've heard. I do like the fact that they are aesthetically kind of going with the Peter Jackson vision, right? New Zealand and all that.
Yeah.
And the teaser pic looked pretty tight. I mean, it was a sick looking fantasy city with somebody in like a white robe, which looked pretty tight.
Yeah.
I'm still skeptical. You know, I'm still very cautiously optimistic, but your boy's going to be there September 2022.
I was about to say, let's not act like you're not going to watch it.
No,
and
I'm
be
definitely
there.
going to watch it. Yeah, you know, ain't no question about that. #OTB mailbag. Is there any truth to the rumor that Miles Brennan was delivering Louis as a waiter driver to Jimmy Ott and had a spill while trying to navigate the Indian mounds on his rollerblades? What? What did I just read?
No.
Who wrote that? No, I don't. No.
Oh, the Ott father. He does love some Louis.
I love some Louis, man. That was always my Sunday spot. After a game, go with my mom. Just me and her. It was a great little tradition.
Go.
Get some steak and eggs.
Used to crush that Mr. Gaddy's right there on campus.
Oh,
That
wow.
was kind of right next door to the new Louis.
#OTB mailbag. Odds on normal tailgating this season.
Oof.
You know,
last year was tough enough. Good luck to the poor soul that's got to tell them they can't tailgate 2 years in a row.
I mean, you can just go ahead and extend that to general society, right? That's the friction that's created from us all thinking we were out of it to now, like the press conference yesterday and everything. It's going to get a little tense, I think.
What do you think? I mean, honestly.
I am not informed enough to offer. I just want to preface it with, like, my opinion means nothing. I'm not informed enough to have any expertise in this.
I'm going to give you my opinion. I don't have expertise, but I can give you an opinion on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
I think it's going to be probably mask in stadiums
Yeah.
until something changes. And I would assume tailgating, because it's outdoors, will be allowed. Just my opinion.
That would make sense. Everything feels a little weird after yesterday and the numbers. And just today, it feels bad, right? Maybe it levels off, and then we're good to go. #OTB mailbag. Jakes, what's your favorite restaurant in Shreveport?
Ooh, love that. Depends on what time of the day it is, but Strawn's breakfast or lunch is fantastic. East Kings Highway. Go check it out. The OG one. Strawn's, like burgers, fries,
Strawn's is great.
milkshakes, like the whole deal. Oh, good. You know about Strawn's.
Yeah.
Superior Steakhouse. Now, Superior Grill is fantastic as well. Obviously, like that's where I go all the time. But Superior Steakhouse in Shreveport, if you're looking for a nice meal, like you can't beat it. It's fantastic.
#Ask the Bench. Mike Detillier or Buddy D? Buddy D's a legend, but Mike's my boy. I never knew Buddy D.
I didn't know Buddy D either. Detillier, always enjoy catching up with him. That one question I get in.
#OTB mailbag. 40th anniversary of the launch of MTV. Do you remember music videos, and should they bring them back? Well,
Video
music
killed the
videos
radio
have
star.
Music videos have gone nowhere. They're just on YouTube now.
God, I used to love music videos. I mean, TRL, even obviously before that. I still enjoy going to like YouTube and watching old music videos at times. The production that used to go into it. Do y'all remember the MTV show, like Behind the Video? And they would literally like catalog what it took to make the video.
Yeah.
Like, do people still make music videos?
That's what I'm saying. Yes, we're sounding very Zoomer here because they get millions upon millions of views. They're just on YouTube now.
For every song, they still make videos.
For a lot of songs.
All the mainstream ones.
All
They
the
do.
big hits. Yeah.
I wonder how much production goes into them compared to what they used to. Though.
It's the same. I mean, it's the same, just into a new age. Some very creative stuff.
Do we have a favorite music video?
The one for Single Ladies was really good. I'm sorry, just the production value of it.
Why do you have to be sorry? Nothing to be sorry about. If you watch Outer Banks, just own it like I do. Don't be judged like T-Bob did me.
I might have
Pauly,
to
You got a favorite music video? I mean, you have a different music taste.
Not a favorite.
I might have to bonk myself, but I don't even like the song really. But there was a Tekashi 6ix9ine and Nicki Minaj video called Trolls, I think, that I kind of enjoy.
Nobody likes NSYNC, Bye Bye Bye? Nobody likes that iconic video?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's going.
Oh, I thought you were talking about recent ones.
No, just like all time. Yeah.
Shakira had some awesome music videos too.
Britney Spears, Toxic. That's a good one.
Yes.
I'm gonna bonk you because I know why we all enjoyed Britney Spears Toxic. And yes, it was legendary at the time.
Free Britney.
Also, like recently, I don't know what song this was either. Post Malone had a song with nothing to do with like Game of Thrones or anything, and he just used it as an excuse to straight up make a Game of Thrones music video with him in like a suit of armor fighting people and on a throne and stuff. And I respect that. I would do that same thing.
80s music videos, Jesse's Girl by Rick Springfield, Corey Hart, Sunglasses at Night. Those both stand out to me. Those were well done.
Even MTV.
Flock of Seagulls, I ran. Good
even
one.
really, though, MTV in my childhood had already kind of moved on from the music videos. There was TRL, but outside of that,
That
was
like the height of music videos. TRL?
Well, no. Well, but when MTV first came out, that was like all it was, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then you had your Real Worlds moving in, your Road Rules. I used to love True Life. All those great MTV shows back in the day.
Kid Rock from Devin inside the chat. Boy, what about it?
Chop Suey, System of a Down. Was in the preview for Sing 2 when I was at Boss Baby yesterday. That was on. Hashtag OTB mailbag. If you made the Olympics, would you get the Olympic ring tattoo?
Absolutely. I'd strongly consider it.
Yeah, I don't have
if
a
I
tattoo,
won,
but sure, dude.
It's like a no-brainer. You don't have. It shocks me that you don't have like some kind of Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, DC, like, and I mean,
if I would have made
I've got a lot of tattoos.
If I would have made the NFL,
that's right,
I definitely would have got one.
If you would have made the NFL, you said full sleeve.
Because also, like the quality of the tattoo that I would need to make it look cool would be very expensive. And yeah, that is what it is. All right, look, we're going to go to break early here because I want to get Garrett Temple in. He's got a bit of a tight window. We'll talk to Garrett Temple next about coming to the New Orleans Pelicans here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to therelaxationcompany.org, therelaxationcompany.org. Okay, look, the hottest new massage joint in town. They're out there at Pelican Point in Gonzales. If you want to go treat yourself while supporting a local family-owned business, go to the Relaxation Company. The prices are incredible, by the way, y'all. If you want like an hour-long Swedish, maybe want some hot stone therapy, you need something a little more athletic, a little more physical. How about cryotherapy, right? Where you can take 2 inches off of your waist in just 5 treatments. It's all to be found at the Relaxation Company.
T-Bob, I always talk about the specials that they run, and you can find them on their Instagram page. TRC Massage is the handle there. And right now, surprise, surprise, another special they've got. Book any service with the Relaxation Company this week, and you receive a free gift with your purchase. They're always doing things like this. Follow them on Instagram. Check out the website, therelaxationcompany.org. Call them today, 225-725-4239.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day, it's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona, inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Miles Brennan has suffered an arm injury. He's out indefinitely. We'll have the absolute latest. Tuesday, AFR, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, let's get right into it. We got a couple minutes with the newest New Orleans Pelican, good friend of the show, Garrett Temple, LSU legend, NBA legend, veteran, leader, the man. G, what's up, man? What's going on?
What's going on, T-Bob? I'm doing well, man. How y'all doing?
We're doing very well. So, look, let's just dive right in, man. You get the news. How does this work during free agency? Was this expected? What was your reaction when you heard you were going to be coming back to Louisiana?
So I knew a few teams were interested, had some interest in teams. And, you know, every time I hear New Orleans is interested, I always, you know, have a little inkling and hope that something can materialize to where it's the fit that I want to go to. And the team that they have there now, I was excited about them being interested. And then when the numbers worked the way they did, and Chicago wanting Lonzo the way they did, the sign and trade option just really came out perfect. And me being able to get a 3-year deal to come back home basically was amazing, man. And I was ecstatic about it.
So to be clear then, G, in your talks with the front office, you are going to be a piece of this team.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Going to be a piece of the team. I was a free agent, so it just so happened that Chicago wanted Lonzo, and New Orleans. I'm leaving Chicago, so that sign and trade happened because of that. But I was a New Orleans free agent target, and they came after me, man.
And look, I know there's something that we've always actually I've talked about it a lot. I've always wanted, and I always love picking your brain kind of on your current NBA counterparts, right? And you've seen it all and you've been through it all, and so you have a fascinating perspective. What has been your perspective thus far of Zion Williamson and kind of what his skill set brings to the table?
I was talking to my dad about it this morning at breakfast, and you see him in high school on Instagram and stuff dunking, and I didn't know if it was going to translate. And then you see him playing the way he played at Duke that one year, and then playing against him is just a whole other thing, though. To see his ability, his quickness, his explosiveness, his ability to get to where he wants to, no matter what, no matter who is there. is a skill set that not many people in the NBA have. And, his ability to finish, his ability to have body control in the air when he finishes is honestly second to none. So I'm excited about it. He creates mismatches. He creates situations where double teams need to happen. And when you do that, the other players, it makes life easier for the other guys.
All right, Garrett, it's hard to believe that you've been in the NBA for over a decade. I mean, we were both in school at the same time. Hey, I still think of you as a very young guy, by the way. You are exactly to the day a year younger than I am. Hey. But look, you've been in the NBA for over a decade. You're going to be a veteran leader. And it feels like the Pelicans really needed that. They've got a great young core. Now you can bring your experiences that you've had over that decade-plus long career in the NBA. Is that something that you're looking forward to being kind of your challenge, to be that veteran piece that they all kind of come to in those key moments?
No question, Jacob. Good to hear from you, man. We had some great times at LSU. I didn't know your birthday was May 8th.
May 8th. Hey,
how about that, dude?
I am 85, though, so I am a little longer in the tooth by 1 year.
Yeah, by 1 year. I'm definitely expecting, I've talked to the front office. They're expecting me to definitely bring my leadership ability, my veteran leadership, my experience. That's something that I've been able to bring to the last 2 or 3 teams I've been on, whether it be Brooklyn, Chicago. So I'm definitely expecting to bring that, and I'm here for Coach Green. I played against Willie, and I'm excited to be here in his first stop as a head coach. Really excited to get things going, but I definitely see myself as being a guy that can be leaned upon by the coaching staff, but also honestly and mostly by the players as that veteran leader.
Well, it's kind of wild. I'm glad you mentioned Coach Green, Garrett, because I was going to go next. But I mean, y'all are like almost the same age, right? I mean, it's closer. He's 39. What can you tell our listening audience about Coach Green and why or how he will fit with his Pelican team?
Yeah. Now, Willie was a hard-working player. Under the radar guy, similar to me, honestly, and he was a guy that everybody respected when we played against him. And as a coach, I heard that he was a very hard worker, really worked on his video study, and he learned from great guys. Obviously, he was under Steve Kerr for a while up in Golden State, and they won a lot, so he sees what it takes. He sees what it takes to win. And then, obviously, being in Phoenix last year under Monty, and he played for Monty as well. Having those two people as his, mentors in coaching, really is going to help him, form the way that he coaches, and I'm excited to see what that is.
Yeah, you're so involved in the community, no matter where you go. But I've got to imagine being able to come back to New Orleans. I mean, you're an hour away from where you grew up. I've got to imagine you've got some things that are going to be planned out in the community off the court as well.
Yeah, for sure. Hoping that we can get this pandemic solved, and get people vaccinated so we can actually, get back to doing things. But I'm definitely excited to jump in the community and do some things. It's great to be able to be home, as you said, and not have to travel home for Christmas or travel home for Thanksgiving. But I'm looking forward to jumping in and diving in head first.
Hey, Garrett, if you can go back in your own mind, do you think younger Garrett Temple would have ever seen himself here as a decade-plus NBA vet with a wonderful opportunity to return home and play professional basketball in New Orleans?
Man, honestly, it was probably, the storybook. Being able to play, I'm going into my, 12th year as an NBA player. So to be able to say that and have a 3-year deal with 2 years guaranteed in my home state, that you couldn't have wrote it any better than this, to be honest with you, man, especially coming out unheralded, undrafted, on that, after that Final Four team, all of the people that were, honestly, so much more talented than me to still be here. I couldn't have wrote it any better than this.
All right. The only negative thing, I know, played a long time in Washington, Sacramento, like you mentioned, Brooklyn, Chicago, those ticket requests going to probably go up by just a little bit. Gary, do you have that ready to go? It's going to be a longer list of ticket requests coming in for the Temple family there.
It is. I think my brother I'm trying to talk my brother and my family into just into getting a suite, so I don't have to worry about getting tickets. They can all just pack in somewhere, and then everywhere else, every now and then I may give some tickets to some friends. But hopefully they'll get a deal on something like that where I don't have to cough up too many.
See, that's a smart man. That's a smart man. Hey, go ahead, get that suite. That is a veteran move by a veteran player there.
G-Tip, thank you so much, man. I know you got to go. Thank you for giving us a couple minutes of this very busy time. Cannot wait to watch you in a New Orleans Pelicans uniform come this season.
Appreciate it, T-Bob. All right, Jacob.
See you, Garrett. Thanks, man.
Garrett Temple, the legend. Like he said, going into year number 12. Call that a Garrett's dozen. Love it.
What he can do for this Pelicans team, and I think all of us agree in this room, to bring that veteran presence, to bring that mature presence, because, look, he even did it when he was the same age as the guys on that 06 LSU team. Like, you had some big personalities.
Yeah.
You had Big Baby. You had Tyrus Thomas. But he was that personality and that guy that everybody kind of looked to when times were tough. Like, okay, what's Garrett doing in this situation? And he was really a calming force, and he kind of kept everybody at check just enough. They were allowed to be themselves, but also for the team in that moment, whatever they had to do. And Garrett was kind of that voice for that team. So he can be that for the Pelicans. They need it in the worst way. And, like, there's some added bonus of him being able to come back, play at home, and him being enthusiastic about that opportunity. Let's call it like it is. There's a lot of people that, maybe don't see New Orleans as that destination. But for him, it's the ultimate destination.
Yeah.
So I love the move to get something for Lonzo Ball, and for it to be a piece like this, I think it's a big win for the Pelicans.
Well, and how did Garrett make himself into an NBA player? Just through sheer effort, will, determination, grinding it out defensively, then making himself into a very good shooter. I mean, he was always a good shooter, right? But he has really epitomized a lot of the 3-and-D in terms of how you bring value. So he has actual on-the-court value. I loved hearing that it sounds like the front office has basically said, no, you are in the longer-term plans. This is not just like you're going to be repackaged and moved again. So he will be here.
Did he say 3-year deal?
He said 3-year deal.
Said, okay.
Which, you never know if that all plays out. But, I mean, it shows you that he is in the plans for the foreseeable future. He'll give you saying, ask Garrett, can he teach B.I. and Zion how to play defense? It can't hurt, because this is someone who made the NBA because of how much he improved and how good he got defensively. And I love this move on multiple fronts.
Wasn't Mario, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't there like a YouTube clip of Garrett getting on someone pretty heavily for not playing defense? I think we need to find that, because I know it's out there.
How old are you right now, Jake? 35?
36.
36. Whoa.
Yeah, Garrett's 35.
So Garrett's 35, dude. Willie Green's 39. That's also a pretty odd dynamic there. That's not something you see that often in the NBA. You see it every now and then, maybe in the NFL, where players can get a little bit older. But, I mean, so, like, that's also an interesting thing where they both are going to have that kind of veteran respect for one another. And if you ever need, like, a mouthpiece, like maybe Willie Green wants to go more subtle and he wants it to come from the locker room, from the players, like Willie can even get in Garrett's head and kind of send messages through him. So it seems like a win on all fronts. Is it a direct replacement for Lonzo? No, and maybe that's something that we haven't talked about enough. It's like you're losing a guy in Lonzo that had a really nice trajectory, had made himself into a good shooter. Zion seemed to really like him, but at the end of the day, it just kind of is what it is. Lonzo wasn't fitting in to the long-term plans, and the Bulls just valued him more. The Pelicans did not value him to the price of $84 million. Do you agree with that, Mario? Do you think the Pelicans should have matched the restricted offer?
I agree with that, but I also think there's kind of inklings of Lonzo not wanting to be here and Rich Paul kind of putting out that vibe.
Yeah,
I mean, as soon as free agency started, Rich Paul let out a statement, not clarifying the details of the trade, but clarifying that Lonzo is headed to Chicago, not going to New Orleans. They also did an interview a few weeks back where he kind of just gave some cryptic quotes about what I'm saying. So I also think a lot of it had to do with how Lonzo felt.
Yeah, that's...
Holla at your boy. We'll see you.
Yeah,
Live.
I mean, right.
Like,
I mean, I know, yeah. What are you going to do?
Look, if you're not all
New Orleans
in,
did everything for Lonzo.
It doesn't matter how talented you are, because some of that talent goes away because you're not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing to be the best player that you can be, right? So go get someone like a Garrett Temple. Now you have added cash to be able to go spend potentially on other pieces. And it's all about who you bring in, right? Because it might take two people to take what Lonzo gave you, but you had the cash to go add two people to this roster. Maybe Garrett Temple is a piece of that, and you add another piece.
Is Devontae Graham a piece of that, right?
Dude,
I mean, absolutely.
He is a very underrated player. He averaged more points than Lonzo did a year ago.
Yeah.
They also have really high hopes for Nickeil Alexander-Walker this year, possibly to step in as a starter.
And so it just wasn't. I kind of agree with not committing that money to Lonzo.
No.
To your point, right?
If they would have committed that amount of money.
He had a nice trajectory, but he hadn't done enough.
I think all of us here would have been like, I don't like that. I don't really know what they were doing. And I'm not sitting here trying to just hate on him completely, but the situation, you could tell like where he wanted to be, and it was not New Orleans, and you're waiting for this player to develop. I'm not giving someone $80 million to develop.
Do you need a third star? I know that's what everybody keeps saying, but do you really? Like, if you add enough nice pieces, like rotational, legitimate pieces?
I think you need to create some momentum this year for that to happen. In a world where the Pelicans had a better last 2 seasons and don't have so much bad PR, I think they have a better free agency. They can possibly get somebody like Kyle Lowry, but whether or not you do it this year, you had to see improvement from the guys already on the team, not just Zion, but we mentioned Nickeil. We'll see what happens with Jackson Hayes, but those third-year guys really need to step up this year.
Another important point, I can't remember who it was. Somebody's making this point on Twitter, but it was that the free agent market, you freed up a lot of money, okay? And you're going to free up even more money now next year, where the free agent market might even look a little better. I know you have to show improvement this season, but you don't want to go like the, Solo Hill 4 years, $48 million route where you're just committing money that you shouldn't really commit just because you have it. So, yeah, go lighter. You don't have to get a third star necessarily. Keep filling out with nice rotational pieces.
I mean, do you think Milwaukee had 3 stars? I mean, Middleton's a fantastic player. Obviously, Giannis, and Drew is a great player with a certain skill set.
I think Drew put them at 3 stars. I don't think they had it before.
Stars, though.
I would say Drew's a star, especially after the playoff run. Maybe pre-playoff run, that's a different conversation.
He is a fantastic basketball player who has a great skill set, but I don't necessarily would say 3 stars.
For what he brings on defense, I would say he's maybe a star. But either way, he's a great third guy. And again, in New Orleans, he was the second guy, and AD was the first guy. But AD is the second guy, and Drew is the third. You see the results.
Yeah, so I do agree with that. He's a third. The third star is never going to be the first guy, right? But he is, in that category, he definitely epitomizes like what you would want in that third piece. I think Drew does. And those guys don't grow on trees, whatever. But at least Eric Bledsoe's gone. We can all be happy about that. All right, let's close out hour number 2 when we get back. And then coming up hour 3, we're going to kick it off with Nick Underhill as he will be breaking it down from Saints Camp. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Dude's trying to say the Bucks only have 1 star. Did you watch Chris Middleton in the playoffs? Dude, what are we talking about? Go to Go Roof. GEAUXroof.com, 927-8300. If you need to find shelter from horrible takes such as that, Go Roof is your answer for all of your roofing needs. That's right, bad take approved over there at Go Roof. You call them up, you get a free professional estimate, so it doesn't cost anything to have them come out and look at your situation. So, like, let's just say a bad storm passes over and you're not sure if anything went wrong. You maybe have an inkling that something did, or even if you just want to be sure, you can call them and figure that out with no money up front. If something did go wrong and you need it to be fixed, everybody's licensed, bonded, and insured. And then once the work is done, they give you a 2-year workmanship guarantee on top of the manufacturer warranty. Okay, so you got peace of mind before, during, and after, and you have trust. And you can trust that Go Roof is just trying to take care of the community. Go to 927-8300. You'll get a beautiful new roof every shingle time.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, Free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to LA.
Coming up on Tuesdays, Middle Relief, we check in on Saints training camp, talk some LSU football as we'll be 32 days away from the season opener, and more. Middle Relief, 12 to 3 p.m. right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What up, y'all? Welcome back, OTB. Like I said, closing up hour number 2. We got big hour 3 coming up, kicking off with Nick Underhill. We'll recap some of the other NBA free agency news. We will read entirely too much into a Saints quarterback battle as they were slinging it yesterday, dude. Tamus heating up. Did you know, though, today, Tom Brady's 44th birthday?
I did.
How about it, dude?
I did, and he looks better than both of us.
His new hair looks so good.
Oh, you think it's new?
I don't mean like, no, I guess I mean his new cut. Now,
Okay.
let's be clear. There's
some new hair.
something, yeah. I mean, maybe Tom Brady has everything, and a perfect head of hair is just one of the things that he has, but it's still perfectly.
You could probably go back. I hear what you're saying.
It's perfectly colored. It's perfectly thickened. Again, the new hair, I meant more new hairstyle. He's always had, great hair, but some styles have not looked as good. Now he's got this, like, kind of nice, like, messy spike thing going on.
I always feel
44 years
bad
old.
for someone who decides to get, a transplant and it doesn't take.
Yeah, that would suck.
Like Wayne Rooney.
Can you get your money back?
No.
Yeah, exactly. That would suck.
Oh, Wayne Rooney, man. He
His
was
didn't
bad.
take?
He was bad bald, and then he got a fresh new hairline and it's starting to go back.
John Cena's got hair now. Brian Urlacher always freaks me out with hair. I think I don't like that.
I forgot about that.
I
Yeah.
always preferred Urlacher bald. Hair Urlacher just looks so unnatural.
Hair Urlacher.
I'm trying to think about some. Yeah, now he just sounds like a German
Matthew
World War II
McConaughey, great with his
stormtrooper.
new hair.
Hair Urlacher. What is your new hair? Oh, it looks so good, yeah. Who, McConaughey?
I mean, yeah. I mean, go back and watch his old movies.
Really?
Right? I mean, that's
I would have never guessed. No, I had no idea. I mean, make no mistake. If I was paid millions of dollars to be an actor, I would.
No
my hair
doubt
would be,
about it.
Yeah, my hair would be straight to no matter what. But yeah, 44 years old, 7 Super Bowls, 3-time MVP, all-time touchdown passing leader. Wow. Congrats. The only other thing I have to mention here, did you see the University of Texas get roasted by one of their state senators?
Yes, I did. And it was
the
ultimate troll.
Yeah, they were. I actually don't know what the debate was about in the Texas legislature, but one of these senators got up there and said, quote, Texas was 3-7 against the Horned Frogs. Maybe your fan base would rather lose to Alabama than TCU. Now, whatever. I mean, Texas, they're going to wipe their tears with money, but you were 3-7 against
They have the
TCU.
biggest
That's
athletic
sad.
budget in the country already. I do find it funny that people just assume that Texas can hit this button and be relevant again.
Again, I don't know when it happens. I do fear their potential. I think their potential is massive.
Oh, man.
You think they're going to suck forever?
Nobody said they're going to suck forever, but Oklahoma is so better set up for success than Texas is.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, look, in the short term, yes.
You and Hunt do this a lot with the money that schools make. Like, Texas A&M has not won a national championship since the late 1930s. They've had resources that entire time, right? Money is only part of the puzzle. You got to figure out the rest of it.
Yeah, I think.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to DraftKings. Jake, you got some DraftKings in play right now, dude. How you feeling?
I am loving it right now. It's live in Louisiana. I've told you over the last couple of days, I've had some success, and now, man, I am going like kind of bigger and better than ever, right? Incredibly easy for baseball, and right now, baseball is the thing to do. You get 10 slots, right? You fill that lineup with those 10 players. You get a salary cap. You fit in the best lineup possible, and you have the potential to win some real cash money. It's been a lot of fun. I'm going to get T-Bob on it. You should do it as well.
Go to DraftKings today, download the app, and use the promo code Baton Rouge. All one word, no spaces. Use the promo code Baton Rouge on the DraftKings app. You can play daily fantasy, and when you use that promo code, you can enter for free for a chance to win thousands of dollars, y'all, thousands of dollars. And look, it's really customizable. You want to play the little money, you want to play a little more. The bottom line, you can do it all, and it's now in Louisiana. If it's approved to your parish, go to DraftKings.com. Download the app today, promo code Baton Rouge.
In the sunshine, everybody loves the sunshine.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare. at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
By Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning, everybody. It's 9 a.m. on Tuesday, August 3rd. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see thunderstorms with a high of 82. In case you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can now catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. Coming up on OTB, OT, Nick Underhill joins the show to talk Saints up next. You can follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN or by subscribing to our YouTube for new content every day. OTB, OT starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, Peter, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo. Weekly New Orleans Saints updates with Nick Underhill on OTB are brought to you by former LSU Tiger and attorney Chris Perrette.
What up, y'all? Welcome back off the bench. If you're watching on CST, you're welcome. Hit the like button if you're watching on YouTube. Right now, let's go to the phone lines with our guy, Nick Underhill. Nick_Underhill on Twitter. New Orleans.football, the best site. Remember, Nick does this all on his own, okay? So when you pay for that subscription, you are supporting the creator directly. No corporate overlords, no BS, no ads, just hard-hitting, boots-on-the-ground reporting. Nobody is as checked in as Nick is. Nick, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
All right. I'm going to read you a passage from the latest New Orleans.football banger. Jameis Winston had his best day of practice and perhaps the best practice of any New Orleans quarterback this summer. Winston hit passes at all levels of the field and made some aggressive but smart decisions. This performance came after Winston had a couple of moments he admittedly wanted back during the team's last practice on Saturday. Thus far, Nick, obviously I've not been able to get out to practice, so I'm reading everybody's work. I'm outside looking in here, and statistically things are very even. Are you seeing any separation between the two QBs?
The thing I'd say to start is that it is just 4 days of practice, and it's easy to make way too much because, like, yesterday's performance by Jameis was 25% of camp, and when that's the most recent thing you've seen, it's easy to think, too much about it. But, look, I will say that I think so far through this that Jameis has been the better quarterback so far. I just think that he's been a little bit more aggressive. He can do a little bit more down the field. Really, there was only one decision that I thought was really bad by him, and that was in that Saturday practice. He took a sack, and, they let the play keep going, and instead of just making a smart decision, he kind of lost his mind a little bit and tried to heave the ball down the field to Deontay Harris and put it in a really perilous situation, and it could have been picked off. But look, other than that, I think that he's done everything that you want to see him do. I think he's dialed back a little bit. The willingness to check down is something that I think is notable from him. And, there's just not a lot of stuff where you're second guessing the things he does. And look, I'll say this too. I mean, look, we're watching these practices from the sideline. It's not on film. You can't pause it, evaluate the decisions guys are making and, oh, he missed this guy or anything like that.
Yeah.
But, first look visually, everything looks right. But Taysom, I think, has been pretty good, too. And I think he's been better than I expected him to be thus far. I mean, every year he comes out here and he makes significant growth. And I think you're seeing that again. The ball's coming out quick. he's putting touch on those passes to the flats and the check downs, which was, I think, one of the biggest issues with him. And it looks like he's making quick decisions. You know, I think his feet are right, and he's processing the field. It looks like a little bit quicker. We'll see how, you know, for both these guys, I think preseason will be a little bit more telling. You know, Taysom, the speeding up, can he do that in a real life situation? Can Jameis keep his head in a real life situation? But I would say right now, if you force me to pick a quarterback, I mean, I would take Jameis, and I don't think it'd be that hard of a decision. I think it is close, but I just think that you see everything that we talked about this offseason, his upside, all that stuff. I think you're seeing that right now, and I think that he looks a whole lot better than he did last year in this camp.
Another interesting line, Nick, and I think this might have been from your day 3 observations, which was that if it were not for the impending suspension, that there would be palpable excitement around Deontay Harris. So suspension out of the way, like whatever happens, happens there. But when he returns, you think Deontay Harris will have a significant role to play in this offense?
He's been probably the leading receiver through camp so far. I mean, he's making a lot of plays. You know, it isn't padded, and I think that lends to him using his speed and getting off the line of scrimmage, and, you know, nobody's bumping him or anything like that. But, you know, I think that you are seeing the growth with him, and I think we saw that a little bit late last season, that they started to be able to use him a little bit more, expand his route tree, and I think it's just a continuation of that. But, yeah, when he comes back, I think that, you know, he's probably going to have a bigger role than he had in this offense before. I think the downfield stuff is going to be a significant element, especially if Jameis is the quarterback. And, you know, yesterday they hit a bomb. I think it was on Jameis's last pass of practice. And, you know, he's just able to take the top off, and we're seeing that already. And, yeah, I mean, I think he's been one of the more dynamic players through the first week of camp. And with the void at wide receiver, I think there is a chance for him when he comes back to really kind of, you know, take hold, show what he can do. And then if he dominates, you know, during those games, I think going forward, it forces them to make him a bigger part of the offense. So, you know, I do think once that DUI suspension subsides, you know, there's a chance for him to do a lot more in this offense.
Nick, it feels like Adam Troutman's going to be a critical piece of this offense, and we talked about it yesterday on the show. We know how well he did in the run game a year ago. What have you seen from him in camp so far as being a receiver?
Yeah, I think he has 3 catches so far in team drills. You know, I'd like to see a little bit more, just a little bit more involvement, him, you know, just getting open and forcing them kind of to throw him the ball. But, you know, it hasn't quite been that yet. But the times the ball does come his way, you do notice him, his athleticism, all that stuff. But, again, it's very early in camp. And, you know, I think when it does get a little bit more physical and guys are getting bumped a little bit, and that, I mean, maybe you're forced to kind of take that read over the middle and get the ball to him. And I think maybe starting today, pads are coming out. They'll be inside because it's raining. But I think that we'll start seeing him get a little bit more involved as the football becomes a little bit more real. But, you know, 7-on-7, he was involved. You know, just you see his athleticism. It pops out. You watch them go through their drills, and him compared to the other guys, you know, he's just different than Nick Van Ette and Ethan Wolf and Garrett Griffin. You know, it's a significant difference in the athletic profile. And I do think it'll come to life. And, you know, it still is a big question with him, though. You know, you're going from 170-some yards to, hey, can this guy get to 600, 700? I don't know that we've seen the evidence through 4 days that say, yes, this is going to happen. But, you know, I don't see anything that makes me pessimistic yet either. So I just think it needs a little bit more time to get a better evaluation of him.
Talking to Nick Underhill at Nick_Underhill. Again, the site is NewOrleans.football. Sign up today. Support Nick directly while getting the best Saints coverage. Nick, what do you think the philosophy or the idea behind the Devontae Freeman signing was?
You know, I think they just want to bring in these guys and see what they have left and see if there's a way to, you know, get them on the team and get them involved. And if there isn't anything for them to offer, you just cycle them out, and it doesn't really cost anything. You know, I think in a year where the roster is set and there's good players at the top of the roster and there aren't these holes on the depth chart, they make these moves every year, and they just kind of say, you know, everybody's just like, oh, all right, like, that's fine. Akeem Nicks is here practicing. Maybe he'll make the team, maybe he won't, but it's nothing significant. But when you have holes at other positions, I think people look at these and they're like, you know, why are you bringing in this guy and not going out and getting cornerback too? You know, in Prince Amu Kamara, you know, it's another one. People are like, what are they doing? This guy was on a practice squad last year. They need a cornerback too. Well, they're just trying to see if they have guys that are better than Keith Washington at cornerback or better than Tony Jones Jr. at running back. And if Freeman has something left, he was a very good player at one point in his career. There's been a little bit of, a downward turn due to injuries and things like that. But it's a league minimum deal. And, we've talked about this all offseason with these signings and the way the cap works. Those deals are going to be lower than the 51st contract on the team. So they're literally bringing them in for free for a tryout, and either it works or it doesn't. And, so what? But these are the moves they need to be making, because that middle class of the roster got so squeezed out during the offseason when they were trimming the cap. And if you can build some depth with quality veterans, and there's really no downside to it. They aren't counting on these guys to change the fortunes of the team. If they do, great. But otherwise, maybe it's depth, maybe it's not, and see how it goes.
Nick, what's that rotation at corner been like? King Crowley, someone we heard the early days of camp. Has it kind of stayed the same?
So it's been Marshawn at the top. And look, I think he's practicing better than I've seen him practice at any time during his time with the Saints. Coming into these camps, there were a lot of times where he would it'd be poor. It'd be a poor performance in these practices. He wouldn't look locked in. He'd be dancing at the line of scrimmage before, between snaps. He isn't doing that. He's locked in. He's making plays. So the things he's doing, I think you see growth from him, just maturity-wise, and maybe the approach to the season is better than it has been. Second, it's been Patrick Robinson, then Crawley. Paulson Adebo has typically been the number 4 guy, and it's still a little bit, I'd say, uncertain at that cornerback 2 spot. I mean, T-Rob's been okay, but I think they need to try to get another guy to come in here. I've heard that they're still looking at all their options, and that, despite signing Russell and Prince, that they aren't done looking at that spot. So I think their eyes are still wide open. It just kind of depends. You look around the league and see if somebody with former upside got replaced on a depth chart and they're third with the team now or something like that, and maybe something shakes free. But I don't think that they're satisfied yet with what's going on at that second spot.
Do we have an update on Marshawn Lattimore and any impending decisions about what could happen with him suspension-wise?
No word yet. I was just talking to the county in Ohio last week. There's no date set for any court stuff. So, no, I mean, they're still waiting to hear. It is a little bit surprising that this has carried on so long without any type of decision. But, I think the longer it goes, maybe it's better for him. I mean, it's possible that the league needs to wait to see, what the criminal investigation turns up. I think it's a tricky situation because, depending on what he pleads, how can you prove anything until there's an actual investigation? So I don't know. I mean, it could take some time. Maybe the video that came out is cut and dry enough for the league to say, hey, this hurt the image of the league, and we're going to suspend you for conduct detrimental. But I think it's maybe a little bit messier of a situation than a lot of us thought when it immediately happened, because you saw the video and you said, oh, he's done. And that still might be the outcome, but I think there's a lot of stuff that needs to be sorted through before they get to that decision.
One more on Lattimore, because it's something that I saw a lot yesterday on Twitter, because everybody's been talking about how locked in, how well he's been playing. How do you respond to the cynical idea that is just because of how bad the Saints wide receivers are?
I think it's the approach, though, in the way he's going about his job. Like, it wasn't every ref in practice that he was covering Mike Thomas before. They aren't shadowing in training camp practices. Guys are playing sides, and Marshawn's ending up on, in previous years, Traquan Smith and Tommy Lee Lewis or whoever they're rolling out to that side of the field. And, like I said, like between snaps, he'd kind of be dancing and goofing off, and you'd have Aaron Glenn yelling at him from the sideline. Like that approach isn't happening right now. So just his approach itself, I think, is different. The results, are the results. I mean, these guys were beating them before. They aren't right now. I just think he's locked in. I just think he's approaching the season a little bit differently. It's a money year for him, so I think that's probably some incentive there too. The level of competition, I think, plays a part, but you still got to make a play to get your hand on the ball. And if you're breaking up a pass, you're still doing something right despite the competition. Maybe Mike fights through a pass that, he's breaking up that's going to Traquan Smith. But, like I said, in previous years, those passes were getting completed sometimes. And you would just look at him and be like, why is he practicing like this? This is an elite talent. And he isn't standing out negatively like that. And I do think that is a significant change for him.
Nick Underhill. Okay, last one here, Nick. Pete Werner. It seems like he's been moving in on Zach Bond, maybe threatening. I know they're rotating right now. How is Warner? How's that Will position shaking out defensively?
He's given up some catches, but look, he's in the spots he needs to be. He's in the flats. He sees things. He gets around the ball. So even when he gives up a catch, it's not like a damaging thing where I think like with like Alex Anzalone, it'd be a little bit late and you just kind of see the hair trailing behind the guy after he gave up a reception. He was chasing him. So Pete's in position to make plays. The coverage isn't elite, but it's fine. I think he'll win out that job. They're extremely impressed with his intelligence and his ability to pick things up. And, linebackers coach Mike Hodges was telling me yesterday that they kind of try to dumb things down for the rookies so they aren't taking on too much information. And like Pete will see the holes in the meetings of the things that they're leaving out information-wise and start asking questions. And,
nice.
They're forced to give everything up that they were trying to hold back and build piece by piece. So, I think he's heading in the right direction. And I would be really surprised if he isn't the starting linebacker unless they make another move to bring somebody in.
I lied about that being the last question because I have to ask about Peyton Turner while we have you on. What have you seen out of the first-round pick?
Yeah, so there was like day one or day two, Peyton Turner. You could tell he was a little bit gassed, maybe a little bit surprised by the level of humidity. But look, he's making plays. He's involved in the run game. His size is it stands out.
Wow.
I think with pads we'll get a better read on some of the things he's able to do. But yeah, I mean, look, he looks to be diagnosing these run plays, and he's in the mix, and he's active, and he forces you to take note of him, which is more than I could say about some of the other defensive ends in camp.
Is he talking about Marcus Davenport or some of the others there?
Haven't written down 92 too much yet.
Wow.
So we'll see. It's pad time, so we'll see what he does.
There you go, Nick Underhill. He's the best man. New Orleans football. Nick _Underhill. Trust me when I say it is football season. You want to sign up for New Orleans football. Take it easy, Nick.
Yeah, have a good one, guys.
All right, man. Enjoy practice today. Ooh, bro.
If you're not writing down 92 in shells,
that's a problem.
That's a problem. Because rushers, that's when they usually
they should
eat.
thrive, dude. That's where they're getting like 7 sacks of practice.
Yeah.
Is that BS? That's not ideal.
No, boy.
Peyton Turner sounds pretty positive, though. And Pete Werner, right? I mean, Pete Werner.
I think Pete Werner is going to be a really good player.
That's pretty good news, dude. Nick kind of calling a shot here early on that Pete Werner may be the starting Will linebacker.
That wouldn't surprise me. Because
Breaking
Zach
news.
Bond, they're trying to find a spot and just has not hit yet.
Well, but isn't the Zach Bond thing, wasn't there kind of a base disconnect in that he was a pass rusher in college and they've been trying to make him into a Will? Like, I don't know better than Mickey Loomis or Sean Payton. I'm not trying to say that. Just
say it with your chest out, man.
Well, I mean, but I don't. I'm too insecure. I don't think that I know better than these guys. But it is weird when you draft a pass rusher to be a stand-up linebacker, and then you're like, well, I guess it's not working out. They're like, yeah, like he's a pass rusher, but put his hand in the ground and let him get after the quarterback. There's a void there now. All right, more football talk coming up next. Keep it locked off the bench.
OTB, OT.
Williamson Eye Center is the place to go for eye care, eyewear, and eye surgery.
Oh, wow.
Williamson, EYE.com.
I thought you had a third rhyme
I don't rhyme
lined up.
well enough for that there, T-Bob, but it's okay because they're going to take care of you over at Williamson Eye. They did me, and they've done for so many other people, right? And if you might be a little nervous about a surgery, I can promise you they take all of that worry out when you go over there for your consultation. I trust them. Devin White, his eyes are pretty important to his career. He trusts them as well. They are going to do right by you, and they've got so many different procedures and services that they can do for you, right? LASIK for me wasn't the end game, but it could be the end game for you. And if it's not, they have PRK surgery. So they have something that's going to get your vision back to what it used to be, right? I know mine is. I don't have to squint anymore here in this studio. Check them out again online at Williamson EYE or give them a call. Set up that consultation. Set up that appointment at 225-924-2020.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast office products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona, inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Miles Brennan has suffered an arm injury. He's out indefinitely. We'll have the absolute latest. Tuesday, AFR, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Welcome back to Off the Bench. T-Bob, Jake, Mario, and Paulie hanging out with you today. Jake, what's going on with the Braves?
They have won and lost in alternation style in Paulie the last 15 games.
Hell yeah.
So they haven't lost 2 in a row.
No.
But they also haven't won 2 in a row.
Hey, there's something to be said for being consistent, okay?
Yeah, well, sure.
It's like us. We try to be consistently on the edge of being factual.
Yeah, what he just said. Hey, can I give you a little blind resume SEC quarterback stat? And
Ooh, I do love a blind resume.
You try to guess which one it is.
It's like Get Up OTB edition. I'm in, baby.
All right, so there's going to be 2 starting quarterbacks in the SEC. And
no, never mind.
So the first one, in 22 pass attempts, he took a sack on 30% of his dropbacks. 30% of the time.
22 pass attempts?
22 pass attempts. He took a sack 30% of the time, which equals right at 6 sacks.
Emory Jones.
Mario, you got a guess?
I was going to say Connor Bazelak, but he dropped back way more than that.
Yeah. Bryce Young.
I knew that. That was the only one who
30% of the time,
pass attempts.
he almost had as many sacks as Mac Jones. And a lot of the time, I look back while you were doing whatever you do during the break, a lot of it was with the first-team offensive line. All but one was with the first-team offensive line. Okay, so in 150 attempts, a quarterback that only took a sack on 6% of his dropbacks, which is 9 sacks. Anybody want to guess who that quarterback is?
Okay, so my brain feels like you're doing a Max Johnson thing here, but I don't think he got up to 100-something attempts. How many games did Johnson start? Just 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's no way. It's not Bazelak. He would have been higher than that. Jake Fromm.
That's Max
No, I'm just
Johnson.
kidding. It is Max Johnson. He got up to 100.
He threw over 50 his last start.
Oh. But still, I thought he only started 2 games.
He did, but he played in a lot of games. He played in others. He
So you're
came in
doing Max
Alabama.
Johnson. Okay, so what about Maxa?
He only took a sack on 6% of his dropbacks on 150 attempts.
Hell yeah.
So the only reason I do that, well, one, it is a problem when I watch Bryce Young film. He does have a tendency to hold on to the football, has not yet mastered reading coverages, and he was a freshman. I get that. But another freshman who played against Texas A&M, against Auburn, against Florida, against Ole Miss, right? In 150 attempts, he only took a sack on 6% of those dropbacks. So within the pocket and recognizing a defense, like he actually, for a freshman, did incredibly well. He did well to create that space with his legs. He did well reading the coverage, taking what it's giving him, and all of those type of things. Oh, yeah. So that is a stat that probably a lot of people won't point out. They'll point out his passing yards and his rushing yards. But being able to identify and create space in the pocket for a true freshman, that's impressive. Only 6% of the time on 150 attempts, when the guy who's making like 7 figures in NIL deals took a sack on 22 dropbacks 6 times.
That's that pure Colombian, unfiltered hopium. I'm here for it, okay? I love it. It tastes so good going into my veins. If I want to play devil's advocate here, I felt like Tua, his freshman year, also held on to the ball a lot. I don't know if his numbers came anywhere close to that, right? It just felt like he did when we saw him, and he had kind of eliminated that a bit by next year. Like, whatever. Bryce Young will probably be good. But that is a great point that just from a starting standpoint where they both did their freshman year, Max Johnson had way less to work with but performed better. So let's go ahead and so look, Max is a quarterback. That's the bottom line. And it's kind of exciting in a lot of ways, right? Unexpectedly exciting that decision is already made up, and you can kind of we can all go forward now with this very singular focus and figure out the other parts of the team now.
I do think that's a big part for the team. Like, you never wanted this to happen because one of the quarterbacks got hurt. Yeah. And sometimes competition, the cream will rise to the top. Like, we've heard all those sayings, and it makes you go through this battle where you've got to be on it every day. And that part of it is great. But there's also some real value in this team knowing Max is our quarterback.
Yeah.
We are going to move forward with Max, and every day in practice when there's the ones, number 14's in that huddle. Yeah. And I'd say the same thing if it was Miles. But you now know who the guy is. You can surround yourself around that guy. And for 30 days leading up to the UCLA game, he's going to be the only voice that you hear. The only cadence that you hear is going to be from Max Johnson.
Well, and if, we all know this, quarterback is what? Decision-making and accuracy above all else. How do you create accuracy? Timing. If we're looking for silver linings in a bad situation, now these receivers get to get down that timing solely with Max Johnson. And there's even a little weird thing with being a lefty.
Absolutely,
like that's a pretty significant difference between a lefty and a righty throwing you ball. It's always funny to talk to receivers that have. Did you ever play for a lefty?
We had a lot of lefties that would come into camp.
It just looks different, doesn't it? Like coming at you. Like I remember hearing Jerry Rice speak on it back in the day, going from Montana to Young, and how odd that was, making that transition. So now you're not switching back and forth. You're locked into this quarterback. Y'all get on the same page from a timing standpoint. I think it can pay some dividends there as well. You mentioned the cadence. Do you want to read way too much into a quote about the Saints quarterback battle and tell me if you think this means anything? So they were asking Eric McCoy about switching the 2 QBs between the ones, and he said, honestly, they're pretty similar in their cadence. They're pretty similar in their play calls. It's just Jameis comes in the huddle, and he's funny. He puts a smile on my face every time he comes in because he just comes in with so much joy, so much excitement to get to the next play. You know, Taysom, he's kind of business in there, which I like that too. But it's been good. I'm excited for both of them. Ooh, that felt a little bit like it feels, again, reading way too much into things, that feels a little bit like, you got to do the corporate answer where you cover your base for both guys. And it would seem to maybe line up with a bit, which is that from a personality standpoint, Jameis is starting to win over that locker room and had been winning.
That's no surprise. Yeah, I think he's been doing that. And anytime you have a battle like we've talked about so many times, the team's going to tell you before anybody else does.
Yeah.
In their quotes, in their actions, and all of those things. So not surprising to hear that. Like, we assume that was the case going into camp, and it's continuing into camp.
We touched on this a little bit yesterday. Let's say that things remain basically even. Although I thought Underhill's perspective was interesting. He seems more bullish on Jameis's separation a little bit than some of the others. Even though, actually, I take that back. Larry Holder, whose brain I definitely respect, and to Larry's credit, the old man, the cannon, has always thought that Larry is like really a great analyst and knows what he's talking about. He too has been banging the drum that Jameis is separating a bit. But if things remain basically even, who do you roll with? Does the added value of Taysom force your hand, kind of like we were theorizing yesterday?
Absolutely, it does. Because Nick just came on here and he said Harris has been the best receiver so far in camp. He might not be there for the first 2 games.
Yeah.
And we have been searching for, well, who's going to be there the first couple of games? And it's becoming harder and harder to feel good about the weapons. I didn't love his Adam Troutman answer either. Three catches in team drills, didn't love that.
And it's not even Troutman's fault, right? It's just the position that he's being put in. Like, ideally, a man out of Dayton in year number 2 would not be relied upon to replace Jared Cook or Benjamin Watson or like Jimmy Graham, depending on how far back you want to go with the Saints tight ends, but it just is what it is.
Y'all know this is a Adam Troutman show. One of my favorite guys to have on this show, but he'll tell you, like, he went to Dayton as a quarterback. So even the position for him is a little bit newer.
Yeah.
Was fantastic in the run game.
Which
rated
is the
out
most
incredibly high.
Yeah.
So that part is the hardest part. He's got that. Now they got to figure out a way to get him the ball because, you know, Nick Verrett, who's the backup tight end, is also a run blocker. Like, that's his skill set. So getting him going is important, but you have an H-back in Taysom Hill that we have seen thrive in that role. So to me, yeah, there's added value without question to Taysom being back into that role.
There's one quarterback that we haven't really talked about that much, and that is the former Notre Dame quarterback. Ian Book is on this team, and yesterday Sean Payne was addressing media. Here's what he had to say about what he's seen out of the rookie QB.
He's done a good job. He's picked things up. You know, we give him a hard time because he's a rookie. We were working the last play out of bounds today where you can burn 7 seconds off the clock, you know, when you throw the ball high, far down the field. And I told Ian it'll be 4 seconds for you until we see your arm, you know. But he's handling everything we're giving him, and I like the early signs and the moxie from him. It's been good.
Okay, that's why I don't play sound clips normally. That was it was a good answer. I mean, but like it's pretty run of the mill.
It's kind of funny how they're messing with them though.
Yeah, I do like that. I definitely do like that a bit. They're not still doing the quarterback competitions though, are they?
They are
that was
not.
a Drew thing.
That's a bit surprising to me though, right? It seems like sometimes you just carry those forward out of some sort of like
they actually
continuity
do them. The Los Angeles Chargers do them
because of Drew, like even way back in the day.
Drew was at camp for the Chargers. I believe it was actually during like mini camp.
Yeah, it was a few weeks back.
Chase Daniels, the backup quarterback there.
There you go. Yeah.
He obviously, in his time in New Orleans, so now he has carried that. Now the Chargers do it.
All right, when we get back here, we're going to touch on a little bit of NBA free agency. If you're like me and Jake and you are in your mid-30s, there may be a surprising NBA team that you want to cheer for now. Maybe not. We'll see. Next on OTB.
OTB. OT.
Go to All-Star Toyota, BatonRouge.com, AllStarToyotaBatonRouge.com. Look, when I went into my car purchasing journey, I've been very lucky, right? I had a couple cars for a very long time. We hadn't had to buy a new car in like 10 years, Jake. And so when I had to, I was very overwhelmed, and I didn't know where to start. And All-Star found me answers on multiple fronts. You know about the minivan, but what about the Camry, dude? 2020 Camry. I'm leasing it, which I've never leased a vehicle before either. And really, I just went in there with a number. I was like, look, man, this is what I can afford. What can you get me? And the quality of the vehicle, right? How nice it all blew me away. And these were answers I didn't even know that I could get until I went to All-Star and I let them be my guide.
So many different things you can do over at All-Star. Look, right now is the time to trade in your vehicle. Now, obviously, if you trade it in, you need a new vehicle. Like T-Bob just said, he's in the Sienna, he's in the Camry. So many great options. If you're looking to rent, maybe you're trying to get a last-minute vacation before school starts, so you can rent a Sequoia, Tundra, whatever it might be. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Coming up on Tuesdays, Middle Relief, we check in on Saints training camp, talk some LSU football as we'll be 32 days away from the season opener, and more. Middle Relief, 12 to 3 p.m., right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
All right, welcome back in off the bench here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. I can't read lips, T-Bob.
Are we back on air?
Yeah, we're back on air.
Oh, what's up, y'all? What's going on, boss man?
Hey, Press.
Sorry, no big deal. Talking to the President Flint Foster, you know. It's a little brown nosing.
I was about to say, you brown nosing right now?
Look at that. Look at that beautiful tall boss of ours. He is very tall.
Very tall.
Admittedly.
How's the air up there?
You know who else is tall? NBA players.
Oh, God.
So NBA free agency kicked off yesterday. The Pelicans look pretty active, right? Pretty big news. The Lonzo deal seems to be a big one. But how about this? What kind of caught my eye? The Los Angeles Lakers might as well change their name to Los Angeles Millennials. Let me know how this makes you feel, Jake. So yesterday, the Lakers add a lot to the roster, and they still have a lot more roster spots to fill. But they signed Dwight Howard, 35 years old. Trevor Ariza, 36 years old. Wayne Ellington, 33 years old. Kent Bazemore, 32 years old. LeBron is 36. Russell Westbrook's 32. Marc Gasol, 36. Anthony Davis, 28. That is their entire roster. In a game dominated by youth, the Lakers are doing it for us, Jake. And I hate LA. You know this. I hate LA. But I feel a certain amount of kinship with all these guys in their early to mid 30s trying to hold it down on an NBA court, dude. I mean, I'm still sore from like wake surfing this weekend. Like my arms are killing me still. And the Lakers are just straight up out here building a roster of 30-year-olds.
I'm a former professional athlete. I'm sore from bending over at flag football practice.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying.
Like literally like bending over to show like the playbook. I'm sore.
Can this work? Can you have success in the NBA with all 30-year-olds? I see you both shaking your head.
I don't think so. They are signing players that look, they're a little bit past what their best days were for the most part. And I heard yesterday before they made a couple of moves, they had to sign at least a minimum of 10 players. Yeah. So I think that number is still at 8
It's like
players.
7 or 8 now, yeah.
So they've got to sign 8 players. Who right now can you get with the money you have available?
It's already like $60 million over the cap. So
who are you going to bring in? Like guys like Caruso, well, he's now Chicago Bull. Like that would have been a nice piece. This team is getting older. It's not getting better. And it might be the end. Might be the end of LeBron's championship runs.
The only way that this becomes interesting is if you get a fully healthy Anthony Davis as option number 1 at 28 years old. He should be entering his physical prime, right? And we've already seen AD dominate at near MVP levels. Some of the PER numbers that he was putting up back with the Pelicans were like all-time good, up there with like Wilt Chamberlain and stuff. So maybe the only way is if Anthony Davis can really shoulder that load, which he hasn't proven to be able to do, admittedly, maybe save for in the bubble. But if he can shoulder that load, maybe they still have enough. But, I mean, it's definitely an interesting strategy in the NBA of all sports to go as hyper old as the Los Angeles Millennials are currently going. I wanted to call them Zoomers, but then again, I realized they're just all my age. And so, I mean, I don't know. Are we Zoomers? I actually don't know.
Why did they go with Russ? Like, what was appealing about Russell Westbrook to the Lakers?
You don't like Russ?
I don't like him as a player, but to that team and what he can do, like he was paired with Bradley Beal, who's one of the most undervalued players in the NBA a year ago, and they had a couple of pieces, and they weren't any good in Washington.
I think.
So what's going to be different now?
I think you just try to get Russ to be a pure facilitator.
I think you stagger him and LeBron minutes some too. That's the only other explanation.
Okay.
And LeBron at this stage in his career maybe make a transition to playing a little bit more off the ball and expending more energy on the defensive side of the court, so he can kind of take some possessions off on offense, having AD and Russell. So I think him going there is a factor, Westbrook. But if one of those 3 guys goes down and misses any kind of significant time, that could spell doom for the Lakers.
So, Mario, I gave you a mission this morning to highlight some of the other free agency news that you thought was worth mentioning. Where did you end up with?
Yeah, so Kyle Lowry, the Heat won the Kyle Lowry sweepstakes, 35 years old. Y'all know the stats as the Pelicans were trying to go after him. 17.2 points per game, 7 assists, over 5 rebounds per game with Toronto, where he was the last 9 years. And the Heat also got P.J. Tucker, prying him away from the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks, which was a little surprising for me. A 2-year, $15 million deal. And the most important thing that the Heat did yesterday was signing Jimmy Butler to a 4-year max extension worth an estimated $184 million. So they locked down Jimmy Butler. They bring in Kyle Lowry as a veteran piece to go beside him. And also P.J. Tucker is huge for defense. So big day for the Heat.
It is kind of interesting because if the Pelicans would have landed Lowry, a lot of people would have been upset, right? But like Pat Riley. I mean, like, could you can't fault David Griffin now for going hard after Lowry if Pat Riley was willing to commit $90 million to him. Like, Pat Riley knows how to build championship teams. And reportedly, the Pels did go after Lowry hard, and they went after Chris Paul hard. But Paul now looking like he's going to finish in Phoenix.
They weren't going to get either one.
No, yeah, obviously.
Also, didn't the Heat just give Duncan Robinson the largest ever undrafted contract in NBA history?
Yeah.
That's the guy that we talked about potentially, hopefully maybe somewhat. No.
Yeah, it turns
he's
out
worth more than Lonzo.
Being able to shoot is
a good thing.
Pretty valued in today's NBA. I need to do some research, honestly, on Devontae Graham. I don't know much about him. Mario, what is Graham's kind of theorized role in terms of how he fits with the Pelicans, do you think?
Well, he's a lot less expensive than Lonzo. That's the number one thing that needs to be highlighted, and how he fits in. And as Jake said, he's kind of a defensive stopper, a little bit more than Lonzo was, more consistent on that side of the floor, and somebody who honestly is going to play a similar mold, I think. Knock down threes, spread the floor, but hopefully be a little bit better on defense. And I think the thing that they're hoping, and he showed last year with the Hornets, is they were 5th seed and were a playoff team, obviously, is he's just a little bit more demonstrative. A player that's still young but has some experience in the NBA, again, has been on a playoff team and can help the Pelicans in the locker room. This was just such a young team with so many guys stepping into roles that they've never been before. So having somebody with some experience again on a playoff team could be very helpful compared to somebody like Lonzo Ball, who's still kind of trying to make his name in that sense.
Do we have any insight as to what David Griffin does next? I know that they're saying that this is not done yet in terms of what they're going to do with Satoransky, Tomas, and kind of how they can package some of these other picks. Because the 2022 they sent is lottery protected, right? So if everything does go wrong and the Pelicans suck, then they'll retain that pick. But the hope would be that you'll be good enough where you actually do not retain that pick.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I'm wrong. I don't really know. I think that they were really hoping that they were going to get Kyle Lowry, and now they're just trying to kind of pivot. But again, lots can still be made. You still have a bunch of cap space, so we don't know what's going on with Josh Hart. I'm really curious to know his interest in kind of coming back. So there's a lot of dominoes that can still fall. But honestly, somebody asked me to grade the first day of free agency, and I gave it a C.
Okay. How about the fact that this is a complete change of pace, so I apologize, but that Devin White is not in the top 10 linebackers on Madden? That's insane. Show me the 10 linebackers who are better than Devin White.
As someone who had to block those cats for a living, he's like number one on the guy that I would just absolutely not want to see. He's faster than me, he's bigger than me, and he's stronger than me. I'm out.
Yeah, and he also, I want to say that he, even on the Madden Ultimate Team by the end of last year, he was up to a 95 or something during the playoff run. So, I mean, look, we talked to Devin White after that Super Bowl, right? And we heard a man who is supremely motivated to prove that he is the best linebacker in the NFL. So if you want to get in on a high value, buy low, sell high, I would say buy Devin White stock because he is going to blow up.
What was his quote?
It was something like
Tom Brady got 6, Devin White ain't got but 1.
Yeah, it was something basically, like screw you, Brady, like I'm coming after more rings. Like I got to catch up.
There was maybe like a word in there we couldn't say again, but it was a fantastic answer.
He did have 92 speed though, at least on Madden. So I think they got that right.
What did he run at the combine? It was like low 4.4.
Yeah, Deion Jones though checking in at 86 overall. So shout out to Debo, dude. A few good LSU linebackers holding it down. All right, when we get back, we're closing down the show with Ask the Bench. You already know. Hashtag Ask the Bench in the chat. We'll answer them. That's presented by Cold Kurzlat.
OTB, OT.
AdvantaClean, fire damage, water damage, mold damage. You want AdvantaClean. The easy number to call is 369-5228. It is storm season. If anything goes wrong, like you have a leak in your roof or just anything like that, these are problems that can feel very overwhelming. When you work with AdvantaClean, that 369-5228 number is one call to solve it all, because not only do they fix it, they document it, and they deal with the insurance company for you.
Check them out online at AdvantaClean.com. Like T says, so many different things that they can do. If you have a business and you want to get it sanitized right now, right? Mask mandates coming Wednesday. Maybe you want to go ahead and get that building sanitized right now, get ahead of the game. Well, AdvantaClean, they can come in and they can do that for you. Check them out online at AdvantaClean.com, because there's a full list of services there. It might be something else for you. If you have a business and you just want them to come check your business out, to have a plan in place in case something happens, remember, that is a free service to you as well at AdvantaClean.com, and that number T is
369-5228. AdvantaClean, 369-5228.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit garciadidmyroof.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Miles Brennan has suffered an arm injury. He's out indefinitely. We'll have the absolute latest. Tuesday, AFR, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Welcome back. Let's dive in a little Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Curse Light, Busy, Hard Seltzer, Blue Moon, Light Sky, Citrus Sweet. Hashtag Ask the
Getting better,
Bench.
T. It's getting there.
I'm trying.
You're really honing in on what we're going for here.
As Jake, do you get an NFL pension check yearly or monthly?
Actually, it is monthly when you turn 55.
Okay.
And it is times the amount of years that you played in the NFL. You can get your 401k and your annuity starting at the age of 35 if you want to.
Oh,
so there
you
you
in
go.
that
Break it
club,
down.
baby.
Yeah,
Let's go.
I'm letting it sit there, Coach.
Let's go. Hashtag Ask the Bench. Which has more flaws, Madden ratings or OTB tier lists? Wow.
Madden ratings, obviously. What we do is called science.
That's crazy. These ratings are crazy, man. I'm going to make a Chris Farley skit where I just look at that rating. That's crazy. And that's it. Not expound. Here are the 10 linebackers over him, though. Fred Warner, Levante David, Bobby Wagner, Demario Davis, Eric Kendricks, Darius Leonard, Roquan Smith, Dante Hightower, Miles Jack, and Deion Jones. A fine group. But all those guys are not
Jack?
there. Yeah, how about that?
Oh.
All those guys are not
Damn.
there. Hashtag Ask the Bench. Does Miles Brennan have another year of eligibility after his latest injury? He has one more already.
Yeah.
He could potentially be looking at getting a second with a medical.
He is on the Van Wilder plan.
Yeah,
and not
yeah.
because he wants to be, but just because of some bad luck that he's had.
God, what a good movie. Hashtag Ask the Bench. Will you be watching music videos on YouTube later today?
Absolutely. Like that person, whoever said that, must know me because my mind's only thought about music videos since we talked.
Which one are you most excited to watch?
All of them.
You should watch Trolls.
Give them to me all. I'm actually going to, I think, probably start in the 80s.
Watch Trolls.
Watch what?
Trolls.
Trolls?
Yeah. The Tekashi 6ix9ine Nicki
okay.
Minaj.
I thought you were talking about the kid movie. I'm like, I've had to see that too many
Trolls
times
is great.
already.
No, I'm talking about the Horny Boy video.
Bonk.
Hashtag Ask the Bench. Fish sticks or chicken nuggets?
Chicken nuggets. Fish sticks are delicious, but can you really trust those?
Do you like fish sticks?
They're good from like Long John Silver's or something.
What are you?
Can you really trust those?
What are you, a gay fish? It's an old South Park joke. I like fish sticks too, but yeah, chicken nuggets smash it, no doubt.
I missed that episode of South Park.
Kanye West didn't.
Yeah, it's Kanye. He doesn't get it. He can't handle it. Kanye just didn't get it. Hashtag Ask the Bench. Why is Michael Clayton so underrated? Talking about LSU's Michael Clayton there, I'm guessing?
He is underrated. He was.
We don't think about him a lot in terms of like
absolute
great
stud.
players. I mean, he was such a key part of that national championship team.
And I remember the bowl game before that against Texas. He played both ways in the game. He was out there covering Roy Williams.
I remember that bowl game against Texas because of Roy Williams. Screw that dude. Hashtag Ask the Bench. Is Max less of a run threat now with a freshman at backup? We kind of explored this earlier. I think that we kind of landed on, we think 8 to 12 carries is the ideal for Max. And we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But I think you have to be a bit more, even O said it, you got to be a bit more cautious.
Yeah. I mean, Garrett can do some of the same things that he can do. So the good part about that is, like, all the quarterback run stuff that you have in there is going to be for the skill set that the quarterbacks you have are left open.
Hashtag Ask the Bench. Why is it Ask the Bench if y'all were starters?
I've been trying to. I've said that. I've said that.
Branding's a hell of a thing. When me and Jordy started this show, it was at like
But even
6 to 8 at night.
Even Jordy, Ancient Athletes, is a baller.
But
we were
we were the radio bench, and so it was more of a radio play
Still don't
than
get
anything
it.
else.
Don't get it.
Because we're grinders. We're
Still
like
don't get
Garrett Temple and Willie Green.
I don't get it.
Y'all have a great day. We'll be back with more tomorrow.
Drink
Love y'all.
OTB, OT.
Go to Ochsner.org today, Ochsner.org. Look, when you're talking about Ochsner, you're talking about a facility, an organization that makes sure that the health of the community is put first and foremost in multiple ways, okay? I'm always telling you about, look, if you're in New Orleans, you're in Baton Rouge, you want to check out Ochsner Performance Training, no matter what age you're at, get bigger, stronger, faster. How about the fact how involved they are with the LHSAA now, sponsoring dozens of schools throughout the state, working directly with the LHSAA to improve medical guidelines, medical treatment of the kids here in the state. And it's because that's what Ochsner cares about, the community's health. And so if you're listening to this and maybe you're like our age or older and you have any nagging issues and your quality of life is starting to suffer, don't think that it just has to get worse. Ochsner can provide you a pathway to getting better. And they do it by providing the best facilities, staffed with the best doctors and physical therapists. I love Ochsner. You should too. Go to Ochsner.org today. That's Ochsner.org.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.